fighting games are coming off kind of like a cooldown after a big old bunch of news.
Yeah, fighting games are also celebrating their 50th episode.
Yay! We are fighting games.
Yes, I mean, you joke, Mike. Get the. I'm going to pull the bingo card up, and you can start it off immediately. But, Mike legitimately in a off recording discussion, Mike legitimately referred to me as a fighting game twice. So technically yes. But yes, here's the bingo card.
I'm reminded of that one Evo where. Yeah. I'm reminded of that one Evo where Guilty Gear showed off Nagoriyuki for the first time, and Tekken showed off, what's his name? Not T-Pain, what's his name?
Leroy Jenkins.
Showed off Leroy for the first time, and a bunch of other characters who look suspiciously like Wooly, and Wooly just very simply put out an announcement on his Twitter that was all caps, I am fighting games.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, I guess that was just a trend for the moment. Nearly a year later, the Street Fighter 6 trailer very clearly puts a surprising amount of focus on Damned from Final Fight.
Yeah.
Which means he's almost certainly a DLC character, if not the final boss or something wacky. Who knows? I think that Damned will probably end up not being the final boss of Arcade Mode. Damned will probably end up being the final boss of World Tour. Don't you think?
It's a possibility, yeah. But yeah, so
either way, I'm always down to see more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just was going to say I'm always down for more Final Fight characters. So either which way, sounds cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'm always down for more Wooly.
Yeah. Before we move on completely, I did pull up the new bingo card, which there is a new one of that too, because this is the new logo, or retouched logo rather, and this new bingo card, or the way we are celebrating our 50th episode.
Yay!
Because otherwise, we kind of just forgot. Not gonna lie. But yeah.
The funny thing is...
Alright, that was the funny thing.
With how we repeat ourselves. But at the same time, we're getting a lot better about not repeating ourselves, so the bingo card is becoming less and less accurate with time.
Yeah. I mean,
when's the last time I brought up Third Strike?
Yeah. Just now, actually.
Oh no!
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Prophecy. Sure, I invented a new word. There you go.
The prophecy is revealed. Literally.
A prophecy is when a prophecy is not just probable. It's going to happen. You know this.
There we go. What Merriam-Webster, wherever you are, you're still alive. I know it. Mark that shit down.
Yeah. Shit. So yeah, news. Let's see. I need to scroll down so I can make sure that we're starting at the bottom. Now we're here. So, first things first. Them's Fighting Herds is getting a console port.
Yay!
It's getting a console port to Xbox. I need to call it Xbox 360. No, that hasn't been the thing yet anymore. Rather, for a while. It's getting a port to.
What are these Mexican soccer games?
Yeah. Brazilian GTA.
Yeah.
No, because then it would be PS2 or Dreamcast. But anyway, so yeah, Them's Fighting Herds is getting a console port to the normal Xbone, Xbone 6, PS4, I think, PS5, and Switch. Now,
yay!
Apparently, they've been fucking around with the lobbies. If memory serves, I don't know if I'm confusing this with Skullgirls, but yeah, either of these games have been fucking around with the lobbies, so there's a chance crossplay may be a thing in the future.
That would be delightful, and there's no way we would be able to get anyone except maybe Pink in for that.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Soon might give it a shot.
I don't know, because like soon
will do anything for a game that's competitive.
I guess maybe soon better than I do.
He got too much of that dog in him.
Yeah. Like, you know Soon a lot more than I do. I just figure I just figure most people will have the same reaction that we had to Ten's Fighting Cards, which is, oh, ponies. Like,
yeah.
Like the thing that's changed for me is that just like at this point I'm just like, whatever, fuck it, I'm collecting fighting games now.
See, for me, I wasn't into it until I heard like, oh, well, they got this really advanced, design and all this and that, and it's like, well, now I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, it's there seems to actually be somewhat of a focus on single player content, or at least content that single person can use to then transition themselves into playing online, which is better than most. And then also the characters are also, from what I hear, rather advanced, relatively speaking. There's also gonna be a new character called Texas, who is who is Big Bull Grappler.
Hank Hill.
Yeah, I wish.
A bunch of horses. Hank Hill.
It's not a bunch of. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not a bunch of horses. The roster is not technically not a bunch of horses because they got C&D'd, but it was a bunch of horses.
Yeah.
Well,
one of them's a lamb, isn't it?
Yeah, like the Dance Fighting Curse was originally, like, you probably know this. Everyone probably already knows this, but whatever, I'll say it anyway. So Dance Fighting Curse started out as a My Little Pony fan game, and then they got cease and desisted by not Bandai, maybe Bandai. I forget who owns the toy rights to My Little Pony, but yeah, whoever does cease and desisted them, which then led to Dance Fighting Curse becoming a thing. Which means that I think there's 2 ponies in the whole cast who are the Ryu and Ken, and then otherwise it's like there's a lamb, there may be a yak, I forget. Like, it's basically just like 4-legged hoofed animals. There's a goat. There's definitely a goat.
And Mike Z, who made the whole thing, and it would have been his idea to begin with to make a My Little Pony fighting game, later turned out to be a sexual degenerate. Interesting. Anyways, so
yeah.
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 Okay. I thought it was dead.
You're here. I just didn't know how to proceed.
Yeah, that I was figuring like that might be a bit too spicy for Eddie. Too spicy.
I mean, that I can only fucking like I can only clown on the bronies so hard because I'm a furry. So I'm adjacent.
Well, you don't want to fuck kids' characters, at least.
No, that definitely not.
Either which way, what was it? Oh yeah, we wanted to bring up the soundtrack thing because Street Fighter 6 hyped up their soundtrack and got like MTV or something. Be like, yo, here's some Street Fighter 6.
not MTV because they don't carry music anymore. No, they got the Rolling Stone.
Right. Oh,
not the band, the magazine. I was like, wait a second. Something's not right here.
We wheeled out Keith Richards' corpse for this.
Yeah. And the idea of them doing that though, and he's just sitting there in a room with 2 Japanese guys, and they're speaking Japanese at him and he doesn't understand shit, is great.
Keith Richards is only there because he's hoping he'll get to knock up the lady behind the camera.
Yeah.
That guy is like that guy has a kid that's like only 3 or 4 years old, and he's like 80. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways.
People. So
yeah.
Where was I? Yeah, so the Rolling Stones did a stream. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the line from Red Dead 1 after you walk in on Abraham Ray's having sex with a chick, and him and John are talking afterwards, and Abraham just says, "Well, I'm going to be king of Mexico, and if I spread myself around, then eventually there'll be me everywhere. Mexico will be a nation of the sons of kings."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
So yeah, the Rolling Stone magazine did a live stream from the looks of it, because if memory serves, they even had a chat up on the like top right corner of the video that I watched. But they did a live stream, I think, with the directors of Street Fighter 6, where they talked about music, because, music magazine and all that. And I didn't watch the whole interview, partially because it was information that you can get out of the game already, and also partially because some of it was kind of not true, and you can tell that it was not true, because the interviewer was like, "So is this the first time that Street Fighter is influenced by hip hop?" And they went, "Yes." Street Fighter 3 doesn't exist, never did. It's a lie. Like the Evo Moment 37, lie made by the government. They want to fool you into believing that Street Fighter 3 Third Strike ever released. No, there was only Street Fighter 0 and Street Fighter 4. The reason it took us this long to get after, or the reason that it took us this long to actually progress the story, bless you. The reason it took us this long to actually progress the story, bless you, is because they were just trying to advance time at a realistic rate. It's not because because the third game didn't do well in arcades, and then they just got scared of it. But anyway, do you enjoy every time I go on a rant like this? Because it happens a lot, I've noticed.
But I do find it more than a little bit ridiculous, but I suppose that developers are probably coming from the perspective of we didn't work on Street Fighter 3. I mean, honestly, is anyone who worked on Street Fighter 3 still working on Street Fighter now?
I mean,
because a lot of the
go ahead.
A lot of the guys who are on the crew now almost certainly were Ono's crew going back to fucking Capcom Fighting Jam,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, but I won't know for sure, but I don't think people who worked on 3 would still be around. Maybe I was like senior positions, but like the thing that bothers me in that is that you're asked a legacy question. You're working on a legacy title. It's kind of assumed by default that you know the legacy. Like it bothers me specifically because this isn't the first time I've seen something like this happen. May I remind you?
It's not like like they aren't aware that Street Fighter 3 exists, because the game is clearly trying to be the new Street Fighter 3.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
There is almost certainly a translation fuck up there. It just occurred to me. Because I bet you over in Japan, they probably either have a bunch of different terms for different flavors of hip-hop or something like that made them think, oh, he's talking about modern hip-hop, not 90s hip-hop.
Oh, that's true. You are right. Because I can see that.
Especially with Japan, hip-hop being, relatively speaking, a newer thing there than it is here, over the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, considering that, then yeah, I guess that makes sense. But it's still a weird thing. Like it, whatever. But yeah,
honestly, at the very worst, I'm willing to just mark it up to an innocuous. He was put on the spot, and just immediately the knee jerk no, because there are sometimes where you say things just knee jerk, like you need to answer quickly. And in the moment the words come out your mouth, the thought passes through your mind of, that was the opposite of the truth. But at the same time, you can't really go back and correct yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I tend to go back and correct myself in those situations. At the same time, I am awkward just in general, so hey.
Well, they're dealing with journalists who are outside the video gaming world, right?
Yeah.
It's there's a bit less respect there, I think. And there's a bit more, I don't know if timidity would be the right word. They're going to naturally be a bit more timid. They're not just representing Street Fighter, they're probably representing Capcom on some level as well. This can be one of those arrangements where if Rolling Stone doesn't like the interview, they'll tell Capcom, hey, fuck off for the next 10 years until we forgive you.
Yeah,
Stuff like that happens,
Yeah. Speaking of the language differences, though,
and on top of that,
and them representing
both
Capcom, it would have been really funny though if the American interviewer guy just referred to both of them as Capcom-san, as is customary in Japan. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but yeah. Anyway, continue.
I like these two guys that are in charge of Street Fighter now. I like their development philosophy a hell of a lot better than I liked Ono's. But at the end of the day, Ono was, let's be honest here, a big part of why Ono stuck around for so long, other than the success of a couple projects like Street Fighter 4, was that Ono was very charismatic. He had a good screen presence. He wasn't really nervous. He looked a bit natural when he's going out there and talking. These guys, not like I said, I like their development philosophy better, but they're pretty clearly still new and nervous to this whole on-screen presence thing, you know?
Yeah, like the difference between these guys and Ono is that Ono had a character. Ono was the wacky kooky one. And that's the thing. That's the thing that set Ono and Harada apart from the rest of the FGC's developers. Is that, or well, you know,
do you want to?
No, Harada, Boone, and Ono were the three that I can think of.
Itagaki?
Maybe.
Depends on whether or not you want to count Dead or Alive as a fighting game, I guess.
Well, we have to count Dead or Alive as a fighting game because it's Virtua Fighter. Unless you want to argue about Virtua Fighter not being a fighting game.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so
it's questionable whether Itagaki was working a gimmick or if he was just naturally a douchebag.
I mean, the thing with Itagaki is that, for me, is that for most of the time that I've been aware of interviews such as these, he hasn't been working on DOA, and I don't know how much he was interviewed in the past and how much
he's been busy catching sexual harassment lawsuits.
I believe. Yes, the person who made DOA is fucking getting sexual harassment lawsuits. Gee.
The guy who fucking walks around with the sunglasses, the fucking Japanese Tommy Wiseau look, thinks he's a rock star because he made Ninja Gaiden. Sexual harassment lawsuits. Who would have expected it?
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, so okay, not even DOA, because DOA didn't start out as bad as it got. The guy who I'd assume was behind DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball. That was the name in the coffin. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, what was I going to say? So yeah, like, you know, aside from a couple of developers, no one really has had a character. Like Daisuke doesn't really have a character. He's just like, the reason he is more famous now is because he's a virtuoso. Like, he's just kind of good at everything.
He does a lot of different. He does a lot of crazy different things, and Guilty Gear is very distinctly his passion project.
Yeah, so
there are few fighting game series that you can really look on and say this is just one man's set of ideas more than you can for him, you know?
Yeah. And so
like even Mortal Kombat, it's the Mortal Kombat's always been the combination of Boone and Tobias, but Tobias ain't been there for the last 20 years, you know?
Yeah. Because he had to go and make fucking Bikini Beach Babes or something like that. I forget I was going to call out his actual Xbox game that he made after leaving Mortal Kombat, one of the 3D ones. That's just Mortal Kombat.
Did he?
Yeah. What?
Oh, that game! Fuck, I don't even remember what it was, but it was so bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm also doing that.
Like, I've always heard people throw around, like, the character design declined massively after John Tobias left.
Tao Feng, Fist of Lotus.
Oh, yeah!
Tao Feng, yeah. I like this question that I got by searching for Tao Feng. Whatever happened to John Tobias? The answer is Tao Feng. Tao Feng happened to John Tobias.
That studio that John Tobias made only made 2 games. The first was Tao Feng Fist of the Lotus. The other was WrestleMania 21!
Nice.
You ever seen footage of WrestleMania 21?
Probably.
Do you remember the Do you remember in WrestleMania, the old Super Best Friends videos? You remember seeing the one clip of the bug they got in a ladder match in some game between Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio?
Oh yeah,
Kurt Angle
I remember that whole video.
Animation. He played the animation of getting suplexed off the top of a ladder, even though Rey wasn't suplexing him, and then he got stuck in the air.
Yeah, I watched that whole video. I remember watching that whole video.
I am 90% certain that game is WrestleMania 21.
I mean, I can send you a picture, because you might remember the HUD better than I do.
Sure.
All right.
I nearly said that was the game where they had the three-way of Kane, Chris Benoit, and Goldust. And I was like, no, wait, I'm pretty sure they did that in every game.
very
Pat
applicable.
Insisted on playing Chris Benoit every time he could because Pat's a fucking asshole. The signs were always there.
All right, will this work? No. All right, let's try it again. But
you sound like a mad scientist in a lab over there, like knelt over some chemicals.
There's no chemicals.
Oh,
but yeah,
the best Kane theme.
There you go. Apparently that's WrestleMania 21.
This looks like a lot of the wrestling game UIs from the time period.
Yes.
I can tell you it's not SmackDown, but I can't tell you which of the non-SmackDown games it is.
It's not Raw because that one didn't have a HUD at all.
Well,
there was
no point for a HUD when your main point was stealing Trish Stratus's panties and dropping empty cardboard boxes on Kane's head.
Yeah.
So anyway, you, Kane.
Anime fighting games. No.
We need a new All-Stars. Every time wrestling comes up on here, I'm going to say we need a new All-Stars.
You got one. It's Battlegrounds.
Did you play that game?
No, I saw a video of a guy doing a swanton bomb to the outside and dying, and the game crashed. And that was enough.
So here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I do have to admit that was clearly supposed to be an All-Star sequel. But it was so abominably bad, I don't want to admit it. Because at the end of the day, All-Stars was put together with a lot of passion. And Battlegrounds was not.
Yeah, I was making a joke because, you know, usually when usually when things steer away from what I like, this is what it feels like. Pretty much. Well, you got a new thing.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get a new thing. Someone else got a new thing.
That's true, though I guess the thing there is, like, at the end of the day, I say I want a new All-Stars. The truth is, I'm really just wanting to put the first All-Stars in my Xbox and play it.
Yeah. It should never happen.
I mean, the crazy
lights.
Yeah, that's the brutal thing. No remasters. At least not until the entire roster's dead, and by that point, they won't care to remaster it. Yeah. But the crazy thing about All-Stars 1 is, oh no, you know what's the big reason why All-Stars 1 won't get remastered?
What? Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy fucking Snuka. Whoops.
Yeah. Actual murderer, Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah. If I get to say one little thing there about the All-Stars to Battlegrounds thing, other than the Battlegrounds seemed very soulless, was that with All-Stars, it had a roster of about 30 dudes, plus, I think, 15 DLC. And because it was a smaller, focused roster, they generally made more meaningful picks, and each wrestler was designed to feel different. Battlegrounds tried to get the entire WWE roster of the time, plus a variety of legends. So, needless to say, there were only about really 6 wrestlers in the game, and you'd get 20 copies of each.
The Brawlhalla method.
God damn it.
What? It's true.
It is true. That's why I said, God damn it. You made me sad. Don't do that.
So yeah. Let's see. What? Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about fighting game soundtracks. So. Yeah. I listened to
fighting game soundtracks.
I listened to they released both Kimberly and Jury's teams. And the more teams they release, the more all of the teams sound the same to me. Like, I can see the flares where they try to make it, fit the character, but it's just like, it's just modern hip hop slash, like, no, it's not even slash trap, because at least, like, if someone randomly got a trap team, it would at least be different. No, it's modern hip hop with trap influence, a very minor amount of trap influence, also with a minor amount of classic team influence. Bless you. And
thank you.
It's this combination of, like, it's one thing I think of, like, I get that they want the game to sound a certain way. At the same time, I feel like it would benefit the game to have the characters' teams actually be easily discernible. Like, one of the things that sets Guilty Gear apart as a series, every character's team is usually different enough. There are some outliers, but, like, there is difference between Milia's team and fucking Chip's team in a given game, because they're different people with different personalities. Whereas the Street Fighter 6 teams, to me, some of them are fine. Like, if memory serves, I actually kind of liked Ryu's team. It was weird, but I kind of liked it because it was just like hobo hip hop, and, like, that's fine. But I want more stuff like that, where it sets it apart, other than just, like, rather than just using the same couple of like electric instruments and stuff like that, and just, like, putting these small touches, trying to imply characterization. But then, there's also only so much they can do, because they are outsourcing some of these compositions, and that may be a big issue of, they're trying to go for consistent quality rather than proper characterization with each team.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I guess, do you have anything to add to the Street Fighter 6 soundtracks? Because I don't know if you've even listened to.
I have not listened to any of them.
All right, cool. So yeah, like, it's one of those things to me where, like, I'm listening to it and I go, if I listen to more modern hip hop, I may be able to tell these songs apart, but I don't. And, like,
if you had to,
yeah,
if you had to pick best fighting game soundtrack, which would it be?
That's a good question. Okay, biased answer. Tekken 5.
I don't solid answer though. I don't think anyone could listen to Moonlight. Oh, what was? Damn it!
Moonlit Wilderness.
I don't think anyone can listen to Moonlit Wilderness and not think it's a good theme for a fight in a fighting game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the Tekken 5 doesn't have as many memorable soundtracks. Like, I will immediately pick out Moonlit Wilderness. I will immediately pick out the church team, the Village's church team.
Yeah,
and I will probably pick up on a couple of the teams, or a couple of levels that I went to a lot. Like, I could probably pick out the graveyard team.
Yeah,
but past those couple, it also kind of starts blending together. Okay, the last one I can remember is oh wait, never mind. That's wrong. I was like, hey, I could probably pick out Lee's Stage's team, but no, that was a thing in Tech 2. And also in Lee's Tekken 5 ending, which is why I would confuse the two.
Huh.
So yeah, anyway. So yeah, best those couple, it kind of just fades into obscurity, at least to me. So, I could see an argument for why it shouldn't be the best, but to me that's just like Moonlit Wilderness is too good. It's pretty much it. And Moonlit Wilderness should be the team for the Field of Destiny. Because it kind of is.
Yeah. I was about to say, it kind of is. Because I think one of the bigger disappointments, and such a simple disappointment, of Tekken Tag 2 is Moonlit Wilderness is technically back, but rather than fighting in the wilderness, you're fighting in the old rundown church. Yeah.
I mean, technically, you can I think fall out to the wilderness a bit, but not too much. Like it's not.
No,
it's
not really.
It's not an infinite score like the original was.
Yeah.
Now imagine if Tekken 8 has both Infinite Azure and Moonlit Wilderness. Just carries for days.
That'd be pretty great. Huh.
And what's yours?
For my favorite, off the top of my head, Soul Calibur 2. Because let's all... Oh, you know what? You didn't play Soul Calibur 2. Shit.
I did play Soul Calibur 2, just not enough to remember the soundtrack.
Oh. Well, look, the theme when you get to the church, whew, yeah, the cathedral. But there's just lots of, like, little characterful themes. Soul Cal 3 was also pretty good for soundtracks.
I also don't remember that one's soundtrack, so, you know... I just don't remember Soul Calibur's soundtrack, I guess.
But there's also some real winners off the Street Fighter 4 soundtrack. I love the fight theme for the Russian furnace, the foundry, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a really strong one. Ooh, there are some solid Mortal Kombat 3 ones. The fucking subway theme. Of course, everybody has to know the subway theme.
Yeah.
That's like the Mortal Kombat theme. I feel like we're missing out on a pretty big one. Skullgirls. Skullgirls has a solid one.
Skullgirls, I don't know what it is with Skullgirls' soundtrack, but there's this one like 80s song that I don't know the title of. That literally all of the songs remind me of. Like there's just this one progression in every song in Skullgirls that reminds me of the chorus for this 180s song that I don't remember the title of.
I feel like by now fighting game fans are obligated to love one particular song off the CVS2 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
And also fucking Take You for a Ride.
Take you for a ride. Oh God. Marvel vs. Capcom's got a lot of solid ones actually for a lot of characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last one. It almost feels like it's cheating because it's also the dude who did the Doom soundtracks. They're so beloved, but Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct 2013, of course. Yeah. I don't know if the original Killer Instincts had good soundtracks.
I mean,
funnily enough, theme, but
funnily enough, Killer Instinct is one I would raise as one of my least favorites because to me it sounds like. To me, most of Killer Instinct's soundtracks is kind of generic, but that may just be because of people who like Killer Instinct soundtracks tend and make videos tend to overuse it. Like this is an issue with not just that soundtrack, but also True Love We're Making and the fucking Take You for a Ride. So but like the Killer Instinct soundtrack didn't make me feel anything, and that's like technically that's not what songs are supposed to do. But then I also then again, did I literally just remove it today from the bingo card? I forget the reshitting on Killer Instinct. Just
I think you did remove it.
No, it's still there. It should be.
No, it's Alex brings up liking KI 2013, prompting Addy to proclaim how he hates the franchise. There it is.
Yeah. So cross that one out.
That's that. Oh man, that's a consistent one right there. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well,
what was it? Oh, Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Tekken 8. There you go. So we didn't really talk about it that much. Last fighting games are because there was kind of a tide of news, honestly.
Yeah, and lack of information.
Yes. Well, I suspect there's going to continue to be a lack of information for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Tekken 8. So, obviously, Kazuya's there.
Yes.
Who would expect him not to be there? And let's be real here, Tekken's probably the king of consistent rosters and fighting games. The Tekken 1 roster, short of Heihachi probably, will be there for every game, without fail. One or two of the characters will be replaced by different named characters. We're not gonna get what was it? Was it Christy is now Julia or something like that?
No, Michelle. Michelle is Julia.
Right. Michelle is now Julia. Well, actually, she wasn't. Michelle wasn't. Julia wasn't there at launch for Tekken 7, was she?
No.
Oh, I guess I'm partly wrong. But at the end of the day, we know a Tekken game will never launch without Kazuya, Paul Phoenix, Fei Long. Did I say Fei Long? Yes, I said Fei Long.
You said Fei Long, yes.
Martial Law. Martial Law or Forest Law, but probably Martial Law. Forest Law is dead.
Yeah.
Jack, Jill? Not Jill. What's wrong with me?
Jill Valentine.
Oh my god.
Jill Valentine.
You take it over. Take it over. My brain has rotted. I don't remember anything about Tekken.
I just like this image.
Just give me King. I'll do figure fours. That's all I'll do.
I like this image of fucking booting up Tekken 8. You see all of the classic Tekken characters. Jack, Kazuya, fucking Michelle's there from the dead, I guess. Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Jill Valentine from fucking Resident Evil is also there, and then you're like, she wasn't in Tekken 1, and then you boot up Tekken 1 and she's there.
Yeah. Also, Michelle's not dead. She's just over 40, so Japan goes, uh-oh, stinky.
She might as well be dead.
Oh, God.
There's two ways to take this, and I didn't consider one of them.
Look, over in Street Fighter, they still got Chun-Li and Cammy. They both got to be pushing 40. Then you look at Bandai Namco, and they're just cowards. They're cowards.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What they don't understand is that some people in Japan may get really upset to see a 40-year-old woman in their fighting game. But there's a lot of Westerners who are going to be there for it.
I mean,
nobody told Harada about the concept of MILFs.
No, here's the thing. Y'all don't get it. Bandai Namco already has a MILF. Her name is Ivy.
Ivy is well, on one hand, you could say Ivy is a fantastic example about that. But on the other hand, didn't Ivy stop aging at 20?
I don't actually know. I'm making a joke.
I think she did. Let me look it up.
All right.
I'm pretty sure in one of her bios, it'll explicitly, I want to say like Soul Calibur 4, if you go look at her bio, it says she's 40 but stopped aging at 20. I mean, of course she did.
I mean, that's fine. Soul Calibur 4 is not canon anyway.
The series ended with 3. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Ivy's outfit's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But yeah, what was I going to say?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
In Soul Calibur 1, Ivy is listed as being 28 years old. In Soul Caliburs 2 through 4, she is listed as 32 when aging stopped.
Ah.
And so they don't even clarify how old she actually is. They just clarify when she stopped aging. Because Japan is so scared of women over the age of 40 that even if they said it's a 50-year-old woman in the body of a 30-year-old woman, Japan would go, ew, no!
But yeah, because you see, when Japanese women specifically turn 40, they get superpowers. It's the same deal that men get when they're still virgins at 40.
Yeah.
Like, but instead of magical powers, they just get superpowers. Like fucking Miss Marvel. Yeah, that's a documentary.
Well, it's a two-step process, because you got to not only be a virgin at 40, but you also got to make sure that you never, ever ejaculate. So you store up the power in the balls and never release it.
That's not a requirement. But the more you store up, the stronger your magic is.
There is a character in Disco Elysium who is probably the same character you've heard of before. Have you heard of Measurehead?
Probably.
he's this wacko black supremacist character.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Very early on. Yeah, in Disco Elysium. And if you go down if you make your character a fascist, he runs into Measurehead again later in the game, and you can talk about his sex life. And even though he has sex with loads of white chicks, he has somehow inexplicably trained himself to I guess, orgasm without ejaculating, to preserve his power.
Technically,
to preserve his African strength.
Technically, that's not impossible, and it's actually a medical condition. So, yeah. So there's this thing where
I'm sorry, Measurehead, you're not disciplined. Your dick is just broke.
Yeah, there's this medical condition where your fucking cum lines are wrong somehow, and basically, instead of exiting the hole they're supposed to, it just kind of goes into your balls, like your sack or something like that.
Your balls are an infinity cycle.
Yeah. Like it just goes back into the sack or like whatever, and it doesn't leave the piss hole because of that. So technically, it's possible to do that without ejaculating. It's also just probably not well. Technically it's not healthy. You just won't have kids ever.
Do you remember the gun in Metal Gear that has infinite ammo because its clip is shaped like an infinity symbol?
Your seminal virus is shaped like an infinity symbol.
If you ever uncap it, if it ever comes untangled, it will be an endless tide.
Yeah.
You don't understand. It's holding it back.
Speaking of holding it back and infinity symbols, there's this series, or this whodunit series that I've been following, and for whatever reason, the creator of the series confirmed that one of the protagonists is named Sigma, and his penis is also shaped like a sigma. he's also 12 inches flaccid. This has no bearing on the story. This has no bearing on the story, mind you. They just confirmed this for no reason.
It's like the fucking One Piece guy confirming that yes, Luffy can stretch his dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, fighting games. If you don't get how this pertains to, if you don't get how this pertains to fighting games, just think about fight fucking, or alternatively, fuck fighting. Anyway.
Oh boy. If they bring back Jun in Tekken 8, that will probably be her and Kazuya's storyline.
Just them fuck fighting constantly.
See, the thing is, like, with what to do next with the Tekken storyline, for one thing, Heihachi's death is impermanent.
Yeah, he's gonna sit out a game and then come back in the next one, probably.
Well, the next game is probably Tekken Tag 3.
Yeah.
Way all the dead characters can come. All the dead characters can come back for a little bit, and it doesn't feel so bad when Tekken 9 is also missing Heihachi, right? This is just saying if they get smarter.
I mean, if they want to actually play it proper, then that's how they should do it. I'm assuming what they're gonna do is that either in the next Tekken game will have Heihachi, or alternatively, even faster, release a very small, like bare minimum story DLC that's just a thing of Heihachi crawling out of the volcano, and then he's on the roster now.
Well, you know what would actually be a super hype way of doing it, right?
What?
Have there be, in arcade mode, if you get all perfects, or well, not all perfects, because that would be insane.
Yeah.
But if you don't lose a single round, then the final boss is, instead of being Devil Kazuya or whoever, is instead the vengeful ghost of Heihachi. Right?
Yeah, he has the same moveset as Jinpachi.
No. But because we already saw that Heihachi has some kind of lightning form in Tekken 7. What they gotta do is they can safely include Heihachi without fucking up the storyline as long as A, he's a ghost, and B, he's only ever a secret boss. He doesn't ever actually get involved in the story, right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Street Fighter should probably do the same thing with Bison. Though I think we all know it's inevitable that, like, Season 3 or Season 4 of DLC for Street Fighter 6 is going to include Ghost in Bison. Psycho Ghost Bison, you know?
Yeah. Although it would be funny if you ask me. Like I know that this can't happen anymore because of how the story went with Street Fighter. But I still feel like it would be funny to have a game where you have both Cammy and Bison inhabiting whatever, being in Cammy's body.
That would be cool, but you know how they should do it?
Yeah.
Because we've already seen a bit of Cammy, and we know she's not possessed by Bison in this game, at least not outwardly. But have it be Cammy's arcade ending. She, brutally murders whoever the final boss is of 6. And, like, Chun-Li or whoever is nearby goes, "What the fuck, Cammy?" And Cammy just slowly looks over her shoulder at them, and she's got Bison's eyes instead of her own.
Yes.
That would be great.
And then Bison Cammy's DLC.
That would be great, yes.
But like, cause here's the thing, we got a bit of that with Decapre in 4, but at the same time, I don't just want Cammy with a Psycho Crusher. I want Cammy with a Psycho Crusher, scissors kicked, and fucking. That's pretty much it, actually. Like, I could say the posing move, but I feel like that's a bit too Bison. And like, I feel like if Bison, like, I feel like if they do this, it should be a mix of the two characters. So like, he still gets the Falcon Arrow, or she. I don't know at that point. Bison still gets the Falcon Arrow and the hooligan stuff and all that jazz, but also gets the Psycho Crusher and the scissors kicks, and maybe the teleport.
Yeah, maybe like have a. Well, you know how Jamie gets a level 3 super that just instantly makes him maximum level drunk?
Yeah.
Give Cammy a level 3 super that's pretty well a devil trigger, or pretty well a Bison trigger, right? Where she gets not only the full extent of the Cammy moveset, but several crazy Bison tools, right?
Yeah, and if you have full bars on everything, when you do the Bison trigger, then you can do the Alpha Psycho Crusher.
Yeah.
Like fucking like when you go into the Bison trigger, the super bar goes away and instead it's replaced by the Shadowism bar.
Ooh, that's good. Oh man, whew. You know what this would have to build up to, though, of course, and this is still just fantasy existing in our heads, totally unrealistic. But imagine CVS 3, Ghost Bison versus Nightmare Geese.
It's a triple threat: Ghost Bison versus Nightmare Geese versus Agrulma. I don't know, the merging of Akuma and Rugal that happened in CVS 2.
That was either God Akuma or God Rugal, depending on which way you played the game.
Well, I know, but I forget which one. I think it was God Rugal's ending or something like that, where if they beat you, Rugal just becomes Akuma in Rugal's clothes. Like, I don't get it. It's just tall Akuma in Rugal's clothes. Actually, I'm not sure if it was even tall. It might have just been literally Akuma in Rugal's clothes. And I don't know how he got from Rugal to there.
To be honest, I can't see Rugal wanting to merge with Akuma so much as just absorb his power, you know?
But yeah,
I feel like that would be less.
That's why he's so weird.
And it's weird that he takes some of Akuma's physical aspects, but I would think more than anything else that'd just be Shin Rugal, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Omega God Shin Rugal. Oni.
Yeah. Turbo. Champion Edition. Yeah.
He's the ultra secret boss of that game. And whenever you like fight him, it just keeps adding titles. And they fall on screen, like slam into place with every time the announcer says them.
So each time you lose, a title gets added. But they're not only they're not only like pre and suffixes from Capcom titles. So like, and the thing here is that the titles, like instead of a normal nameplate, this version of Rugal actually has the logos that he's ripping the titles off of in the game, and the logos are on the highest layer. So if you lose too many times, you can't see the screen. Like the logos just start wrapping around the screen. So you can't. There is no information being presented anymore. It's just logos. But yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we still discussed Tekken 8. Yeah.
So we have to assume they're not going to be moving the timeline forward much at all. First, because Kazuya doesn't look any goddamn different other than just being in a much higher fidelity. And on top of that, well, Tekken 1 through 3 covers a period of 20 years. Tekken 7 covers a period of 6 months. So we have to assume Tekken 8, we're moving on to next month. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So the characters probably won't be any older. It's safe on characters, which is fine. I don't want everybody to be doing the next generation thing. Let Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat do it while Tekken keeps... Well, Tekken already did the next generation thing with Tekken 3, so they don't really need to.
Yeah.
But
and they still keep introducing new guys that are good enough to stick around, so you know.
Yeah. But with Tekken, I have to ask, all right, so you know the characters that are going to get in guaranteed. But let's say you personally get to make 5 roster picks that get in guaranteed. Challenge mode, no Akuma.
All right. Well, obviously my 2 guys, Lee and Steve.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'd say Lee's pretty guaranteed, honestly.
It depends, because Lee could be important to the story, but they could just as easily throw him to the sides again, because like he was important in Tekken 6 in that he funded, like he's doing the same thing in Tekken 7 as he was doing in Tekken 6. He's funding the protagonist to do protagonist things, but other than that, he's just kind of there. So it's a thing of like, technically he's in the story, so he should be important. They could write him out very easily.
Well, if they're gonna have his model there, and let's be real here, Lee hasn't had a new animation since the 90s. Really, there's no reason to not make Lee playable when, if you've already made the model, then all the other assets are probably there already.
I mean, they are giving him new moves, or they have given him new moves in Tekken 7.
That is true.
But yeah, the animations for all of that stuff is already there because it's in Tekken 7, so you know.
Yeah. And Steve, I really just can't see Steve ever missing out on a game, because Steve is by now thought of as one of the most iconic designs, gameplay-wise, of Tekken. Of just a character who is straight up a boxer, you know?
Yeah. Like Steve isn't doing too much story-wise, but then that's most of the roster. Thank the story mode for that.
Well, he finally found out Nina was his mom. How long did that fucking take?
2 games? Maybe 1.
Like wasn't he introduced in Tekken 4?
He was, but he wasn't really looking for his mother. He was looking to get revenge on the Daipatsu for giving him his big veiny arm. His one big veiny arm.
Right, but still, like, there was the recurring plot thing of Nina as his mom, and he doesn't know it. That took
I don't think that was
3 games.
Because Nina's endings are usually just like fucking with Anna and vice versa. And Steve's thing was...
Oh, God.
Yeah, and Steve's thing in 5. I don't remember his 4 ending. His thing in 5 was blowing up the lab where they did the experiments on him, and that was pretty much it. Like there have been references to how shit sucked for him as a kid, in that he doesn't know who his parents are, and he was being experimented on and all that. I think the only person who helped Steve during while he was at the Zaibatsu is Leo's mom.
Boscanovich? Oh.
Because if memory serves, that was like a piece of like dialogue that you could get if you have both of them on the team in Tekken 6. Is Leo was like, oh no, Steve brings her up, and Leo was like, so you knew my mom?
Huh.
So yeah.
Yeah, before Heihachi knocked her up.
Yeah.
I think we've made this joke before, but I kind of want Leo to find out there's like 8 other illegitimate kids of Heihachi's.
Oh no, you're thinking about Lars.
Oh, right. Okay, very similar characters, come to think of it, name-wise, and they're both blonde Europeans.
Yeah.
Difference is, Leo's one of my favorite Tekken characters. Lars, I do not care for.
But my favorite part of Lars, to me, is how a lot of times when around the time he was introduced, I would see memes like nobody has hair like Lars, and my existence disproves this because I usually sleep my hair to look like Lars's. Because why would I actually make it look like that? But yeah,
that's like the consistent Mishima thing. Like, wait. So, okay. Hang on. It took me a second to remember. Like, the Cosma gene gives devil powers. The Mishima gene gives hair powers. You know?
Yeah. And then what? And Lee's also there.
Yeah. Well, his hair is still pretty odd. It's just a lot more realistic odd.
Yeah.
It's also purple half the time, to be completely fair.
Well, it was purple that one time because he didn't want to get found out about for some reason. I forget.
And yet, Violet still returns in every game.
Not in every game. He wasn't in. Well, technically, he wasn't in 5. You could get a Violet wig for or lead, but it wasn't a default outfit. Like I don't remember if you could actually make like Violet's outfit. Either way, yeah.
I thought that was the standard until Tag 2. That Violet wasn't made a separate character until Tag 2.
No, Violet wasn't made a separate character, but Violet wasn't an alternate outfit either. Like Violet was a customization option, or Violet's hair was a customization option. No, I'm actually wrong. Violet's streaks in Lee's normal hair was on a customization option in Tekken 5, but the rest of the Violet outfit wasn't. I don't think.
Huh.
And then Lee was also in Tekken 2 as a secret character.
Yes.
So yeah, Violet technically only showed up that one time, and then every time he's showed up since, it's just been fan service for Tekken 4 fans.
I like to think that he just does it to amuse himself.
Yeah, like he dyes his hair and he talks to his model his models, I guess. I don't know, the women that he pays to work for his company that which his name is escaping me. Violet something or others. But yeah, like he just dyes his hair and then he acts like he's not there. He's not the owner of the company, and they know it's him.
Yeah,
they've told him that they know it's him, but he doesn't stop.
He can never be stopped.
Yeah. He's too rich.
So Lee and Steve, who would be the other 3 picks for characters that you would guarantee? Oh, not that you would guarantee, but that you would want guaranteed.
Let's see. I guess Lily, because I do play Lily a lot too.
Good choice.
I mean, this one they won't do, but I guess Wesley Snipes Raven.
See, I feel like that's actually got to be one of the inevitable steps, right? Because Tekken 4 introduced Christy, but then Tekken 5 was, let's have Christy and Eddie on the roster at the same time, right?
Yeah, and then now Christy's dead. She's just dead.
Yeah. She doesn't even get to be an alternate attire for Eddie.
No, because then people might think that Eddie's trans or something, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know what fucking...
Oh no, am I here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you are.
Okay. At least when Eddie was dead, he at least got to be an alternate attire for Christy, but Christy's like full dead.
But yeah, because I made this joke while you were gone, but I said, well, no, we can't have Christy as an alternate outfit for Eddie, because then people might think that he's trans or something, I guess.
Oh,
obviously the same frame, and same like bone structure and all that. In that,
lost all of his muscle mass and fat, shaved down his bones.
But no, you see, he didn't lose all of his muscle mass. It went to his ass and tits. Obviously.
Well, Christie's boobs are all muscle?
Yeah. Sure.
Jesus Christ. Alright.
So anyway.
Oh boy.
But yeah,
fuck, now I don't even remember how many you've said. You said
4 or 3? 4. I said 4.
Lee, Steve, Raven, Lily. Okay.
Yeah. And then let's see. Alright, I want an android Boskanovich. Like not
Wait.
Yeah?
Who did you say?
Boskanovich.
Oh, Dr. Boskanovich. For a second there, I thought you were asking for the robot, and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
No, not oh, I'm forgetting her name too. No, not Lars's friend.
Elisa?
Yeah, Elisa. No, I'm not talking about her. I'm asking for them to make an android that looks like the living Dr. Boskanovich. And I just want his story to be that he's like not on purpose torturing Yoshimitsu because he's fucking the real one is dead.
See, I kind of just like the real one inexplicably being able to take on the other fighters, even though he just bumbles his way through the fight.
Oh no, I like that part too, but they can't justify it in the story because the real one died. Like the real one was killed by Brian Fury. That's why him and Yoshimitsu have been having a blood feud for the past like 12 games.
I don't think he killed him. Hang on, let me look it up. I believe Dr. Boskanovich is still alive. It's just that Brian beat him up. Okay, I am reading it.
Yes.
Brian did not kill Boskanovich, he only attacked him.
Okay. Then yeah, then I just want real Boskanovich. I just want normal as Boskanovich on the roster.
Yeah. Though apparently the Mishima Corporation is more or less holding Boskanovich hostage at the current point in the timeline.
It's fine. He'll be out next week.
Yeah. The Mishima's. Heihachi could run a tight ship. Kazuya just burns shit for the hell of it.
Yeah.
That's more or less actually canon. Like, doesn't a bunch of stupid shit happen during all the times where Kazuya's been over the Mishima Corporation?
I don't remember for one, but for another, I mean, he is running G Corp. He's running G Unit.
Well, who's in charge of Mishima now that Heihachi's dead? Akuma?
No, I think Akuma's presumed dead. Like they didn't see him die, but I feel like the ending to that fight is inconclusive, just in general. Like it really ends on a punch, so we don't know. But yeah, so I think Jin, because he was the acting owner before Heihachi took over again.
Oh right, yeah, Jin.
But it's either that or Kazuya is in control of both G Unit. I can't call it G Corp now. It's just G Unit. He's gonna roll up with fucking 50 Cent. But yeah. So yeah, it's either Jin is in control of the Zaibatsu now, or Kazuya controls both G Corp and the Zaibatsu, and Jin's trying to take them both in the next one, I'm assuming.
Boy, this shit has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Just summon the big stupid devil gene dragon from inside the earth and have it clean the whole world.
Yeah, just summon Liu Kang. Just have that be your crossover with Netherrealm. Summon God Emperor Liu Kang and just have him wipe the universe. Again.
Fucking Dr. Manhattan Liu Kang over here. This world is imperfect.
He shows up. It's just normal. Liu Kang's normal model, except he has a very long blue cock.
Yeah.
It's fully modeled, and only his cock is blue.
See, the funny thing is, Mortal Kombat is by far the gorier universe with more horrible monsters and stuff. But if you compare Mortal Kombat to Tekken, in Mortal Kombat, the good guys still usually win. In Tekken, the bad guys almost always win. So yeah, if Liu Kang was brought over to Tekken, he'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I must consult with the other gods. What do you mean there aren't other gods?
Oh god, could you imagine the reveal of that? Just come over. You mean there are no gods in this universe?
Yeah. Then why is this man's face on that building? He points to a big Titantron showing Kazuya's address to something.
Oh god, Kazuya probably would say he's God.
I mean, he is the devil, so close enough, I guess.
Yeah. And Angel, correct me if I'm wrong, Angel is not actually an angel, she's just the manifestation of Kazuya's what little conscience Kazuya has left, right?
I think Angel was a manifestation of Kazuya's good side that he's since killed in canon.
Well,
don't quote me on that because it may be wrong, but you know that seems in character for both the game and the character.
I'd have to believe it because even like Kazuya's Tekken 5 ending is like, hey, Jinpachi, you know, I hate my dad, but you're a pretty cool grandpa. Anyways, LOL, snaps his neck.
Not even snaps his neck. Cuts his throat with his fist. Or, well, you know, his hand.
And then he looks at doesn't he look at the camera and pretty well go, ain't I a stinker?
Yeah. He looks into the camera with one glowing eye. He goes, did I do that?
Like
and then roll credits.
It's one thing that I do really like about how Bamco handles both the 3D fighting game franchises is the complete opposites between Siegfried, who got tempted into darkness and did some horrible things under the Nightmare guise, but came back from the brink and is now dedicated to redemption, or was dedicated to redemption. I don't care about where the timeline is now. While in Tekken, Kazuya just goes full force into, I'm the worst fucker you've ever met. I kick babies.
Before they're born.
Yeah. When Nina was trapped in that tube and pregnant. Hang on! Something just occurred to me! Under what circumstances was Steve fathered?
I don't know.
Hang on! Because Nina didn't know she was pregnant with Steve, right?
Yes, I believe he was born while she was in the cryo sleep. Somehow.
So wait! Steve
Mishima.
Well, I'd hope that Heihachi at least would have standards to not do. Is that supposed to mean we are supposed to assume that one of the Mishima scientists took liberties with Nina and fathered Steve while Nina was unconscious?
Maybe.
Oh my god! I refuse to believe that they wrote it that way. I'm gonna look it up. I refuse to believe that they wrote in fucking raping an unconscious woman into Tekken. I actively refuse to believe that.
I mean, it might just be a thing where they didn't think about it.
He was conceived synthetically.
Okay.
Well, that's still fucked up.
It is, but it's slightly less fucked up.
They fucking turkey basted Nina. What the fuck?
The next three games are gonna be trying to find out who the dad is, and then that will be Kazuya, and then that's the game where Steve gets a fucking electric wind gun fist and nothing else. That's his heritage.
I refuse to believe that I refuse to believe that if Steve was the product of the Mishima or Cosmo line, he wouldn't have already shown some kind of powers by now.
He has. His arm is fucked up. I mean, that's technically the supposed to be the whatchamacallit, the tests that they ran on him, but at the same time, like, you could genuinely fit that into a thing of like, Kazuya, they did that with Nina, so that he can further like research the devil gene on a subject that's not Jin, so it's easier to contain. And then, you know, the experiments they did on Steve were trying to figure out how the devil gene works, and his arm is fucked up because of the devil gene, and he gets a devil form, I guess. I don't know.
Also, would that not make matches between Heihachi or whoever? Well, I guess this would be Kazuya in this case. But would that not make? Well, hang on. Also, Kazuya's bodyguard is Nina.
Yes.
So if what you're implying came out to be the truth, then Nina would find out at some point the man that she spent a considerable part of her life guarding knocked her up without her consent while she was... let's move on. Who's your fifth character you want in Tekken 8?
I thought I already said a fifth character. Yeah, I did. Boskanovich.
Oh, right, Boskanovich. Okay.
Alright, who's your 5?
Oh.
Not Kazuya. Not anymore.
He's innocent until proven guilty, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, here's the thing, right? There ain't many rapists in fighting game. But anyone who, if you ever tried Dead or Alive and you understand at least some of the lore, and I understand some of the lore of Dead or Alive, I don't understand most of it, but I understand enough to know that Raidu, or whatever his name is an actual rapist who conceived Ayane through rape. I wouldn't feel right playing Raidu.
Yeah.
And there are fighting game characters I play that are like big old murderers. Don't get me wrong, but like a rapist character in a fighting game? It would not feel right playing Kazuya forever if it turned out that he was the one that turkey basted Nina.
Yeah. And the thing is, the me singling out Kazuya here is technically has a basis, because there was a Tekken movie where Jin was the product of rape. So technically there is a precedent. At the same time, Horada, last I checked, or a couple of weeks ago on his own channel, talked about how the movie sucked and he didn't agree to it, pretty much. So
Kazuya's love for Jun is supposed to be like his only remaining bright side.
Not in that movie. In that movie, he just he just forced himself on a wounded Jun. Yeah.
Okay. I want Bruce. I want Baek-Doosan. Neither of those are happening. Immediately, neither of those are happening unless it's a tag game.
Baek could happen because he was in 5. I don't remember if he retired after that or what.
Bruce was also in 5, but Bruce is not happening because now Josie Rizal exists.
But yes, but Hwoarang doesn't have tits.
Hwoarang doesn't have tits,
but what you got out
plot than Baek is. Hwoarang is way more important to the plot than Baek is.
That's true.
Like, Baek really only ever has character relation to Hwoarang because he taught him, and I guess Ogre, because Ogre nearly killed him. Whereas Hwoarang is important to Jin, who is like the most important character in the series after Kazuya.
Yeah, Hwoarang is important to Jin because they're boyfriends.
Yeah. Bruce, along similar lines, Bruce hasn't really been relevant since he was Kazuya's bodyguard. And Josie Rizal is the Japanese audience and certain parts of the American audience, so that ain't happening either.
Yeah.
But I'll go with Bruce and Baek anyways, because I like them both a hell of a lot better than the characters that replaced them. And let's see, who else would I go with? I think the odds of King ever missing a game are none, so I won't include him. You know what? I'm going to say Michelle, just for the hell of it, because I know it isn't happening.
She is happening, but she's gonna be coming back as MC.
Oh, that'd actually be awesome. I thought JC was so much cooler than regular Julia.
I would have liked JC a lot more if she didn't have regular Julia's moveset. Like, just give her a completely new wrestling team moveset, and I'm on board.
Well, the thing is that Michelle and Julia by default already have a load of wrestling moves.
Yeah.
But let's see. Other than them, let's say Leo and Miguel. There we go. Bruce, Beck, Michelle, Leo, Miguel.
Yeah. That's a good list.
And Leo should have the customization options both to wear a bikini and to have a beard, just to still fuck with people.
Yeah.
Bridget's retired the gender ambiguous title now. It needs to pass to Leo.
Yeah. I mean, Leo, like, the thing is, for Leo, they need to make one of the default, like, alternate outfits, or an outfit where they're wearing a bikini, but they also have, like, a big Gandalf beard.
But make it, like, a different color, and you can't tell if it's taped on or not.
Yes.
And she is still flat-chested, so the bikini isn't a guarantee either.
Yeah.
Just keep this going. I don't know. Were there any characters from Tekken 7 I really liked enough to keep? I mean, new characters. Because for you, there's at least the Italian dude. What was his name? Claudio?
Yeah, the thing with Claudio is that, like, I liked Claudio's idea, but he was a bit too supernatural. And also his moveset was weird. Like, the pretty much the only reason I played as much Claudio as I did is because he has a genocide cutter. And that's it.
Huh.
He's diagonal up 4 is a genocide cutter.
And I liked Catalina, but we don't really need a character with a one-button moveset.
I mean, just
bring back Catalina if she isn't so reliant on that one button.
Yeah, that was 4. That one button was 4. But yeah,
she also had a pretty solid one-button thing on 3. Like, that was the ultimate beginner character.
Yeah, like, instead, we don't need a single button character. Bring back Christy Monteiro with her Tekken 5 moveset. People will rage. There will be salt. Like, that's a funny story. I don't know if I told you this, but my mom used to play a lot of Tekken against me. She's actually pretty good. She was a Christy main, and she actually knew how to use Christy. She quit playing fighting games for the most part because they changed her moveset in Tekken 2.
Huh.
And they didn't change much about her moveset. But they removed some of the links, if memory serves. And she was just like, no, I'm not playing this anymore.
Huh?
But yeah. And then, yeah, Tekken 8. What else can we say about it?
Am I back now?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. I mean, of course, there's going to be the question of, are there any things you think should be mechanical changes? But I don't know if that would be necessarily too interesting of a topic, because I think the first thing that there wouldn't be any discussion about at all is neither of us like the rage system, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think... For one thing, that's not a very interesting discussion, because we're both just like, fuck it. But on top of that, that is not one Bamco would listen to, because at the end of the day, the rage system is an excuse to have super moves. Super moves get YouTube views. YouTube video views get people interested in the product and get them to buy.
Yeah.
So Bamco's answer to that is always going to be some variation of, get fucked.
Yeah, so now I'm going to raise the opposite point, actually. Add Roman cancels. Fuck it.
See, I don't want to go deeper down the rabbit hole here.
I mean, my thing is that, like, you know, I don't like how Tekken is right now. I don't like how the rage system changes how Tekken plays. So, at this point, I just want to have fun with it. Like, if it has to be there, then I want it to be fun.
I don't know. I've seen what stinky 3D fighting game combos look. I've seen Mortal Kombat Deception and Armageddon. I don't know if you want to go there.
I mean, I don't know, because it's a thing of, like, to me, Akuma's kind of proved that Roman cancels can work. They're hard to deal with, but they can work.
How do you feel about Tekken 7 adding super armor and making it so important to some characters?
I can live with it. I don't necessarily like it, but, you know, if it's one of those things where, like, rage to me is worse. I don't know why, but rage to me is worse. It may just be because rage is a lot more visual. Like, rage doesn't actually change as much as this does, but rage is a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. Bloody hell. Like, you know, the big stinky rage lines coming off of people is more distracting. There we go. That's the one. To me, than people doing a big I don't know, like fucking or big cloud when you hit them, and then also going white and then still hitting you. Like, I can live with that.
How do you feel about bound combos?
I didn't love them, but I don't mind them either. It's fine.
Yeah, being in the kind of nerfed state they are in Tag 2 and 7, it's a reasonable balance away from Tekken 6, where it's like, every combo must be a bound combo.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, let's see, like, wall bounces?
Tekken is one of the games that I enjoy them, weirdly enough.
How do you feel about oddly built stages, more like what Tekken 4 and Tekken 6 had, where it's not your typical arena with walls on each side, but, like, weirder shit going on?
I'd prefer if they did both ways. So you still have your arenas for competitive play, and you also have things like that one shopping mall, or the fucking hill where you can just combo people forever for casual play.
How do you feel about Snoop Dogg?
Why is he not playable?
You could at least dress Bruce up in a Snoop Dogg outfit. It's kind of like Tekken 7 doesn't have Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika. Man, it would have been so much more hype if they just straight up added Okada to the game.
Be careful what you wish for, because now we'll get the Tekken 8's guest character, Kenny Omega.
I would shit my pants and then die. In that order.
And then you'd haunt Harada forever.
Yeah. Harada is a victim of fate. I'm going to haunt Kenny.
Yes.
Like, if you're going... See, would Kenny get over in Japan? He would. Kenny would get over in Japan. They probably still remember him over there. But, like... Well, Kenny never held the New Japan World Championship, though. Jay White did. So if we're going to get a Japanese, an American wrestler, well, not American, Jay White's like Irish or something, but if we're going to get a Western wrestler, and if we're going to get a wrestler in Tekken that isn't Okada, you know, it'd have a higher chance of being Jay White, which would still be lame, but not as lame as Kenny Omega.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like...
I don't know.
I feel like they're more likely to choose Omega because he's a bigger meme. More people know him outside of wrestling, you know?
Well, the trouble is that while he is Kenny Omega is indeed a capital G gamer, he's one for Street Fighter, not Tekken.
Yeah. Which is why Tekken will add the Great Muda. Best.
Oh my god.
Best tournament player. I'd pop.
I would not play any other characters if they added the Great Muda.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you're Val running fucking 3+4. Well, it was just the Shining Wizard.
Yeah. Like, him doing the moonsault would make a lot more sense than King doing it, honestly.
Yeah.
Poison Mist would have an absurd hitbox and amount of active frames.
Instead of King's version, right? No, Armor King has it, I think. But yeah, whatever. Instead of whichever King has a Poison Mist, instead of their version, it's just a reskinned version of True Ogre's flamethrower.
The real question would be, would they implement the thing Muda has where, like, the different colors change the mechanics of the mist?
Yes. That's his subsystem. You can change which mist it is on the fly, but it only goes in a circular fashion. So you need to circle back around to get the right mist if you like did the queue up again.
And you just very clearly see Muda spitting out the mist packet he's got in his mouth right now and putting in a new one.
Yeah. Not even a mist packet. A condom filled with the mist juice.
Oof. Was there not a storyline in that really fucking goofy Japanese promotion where Muda poison misted a girl's crotch and it got her pregnant?
I don't know.
What was her name? Yinling the erotic terrorist or something like that?
I feel like I remember that name, but I don't.
Like, it was the same promotion where they had Nobuhiko Takada, like, come out dressed as M. Bison and say he hates pro wrestling, so he's come to destroy it.
Shit. Japanese wrestling is simultaneously the best and the worst because of this.
Well, the thing is, it's differing promotions, right?
Yeah.
Because you go with New Japan or All Japan, it's a lot more serious. But what I'm talking about was like dramatic Dream Team Wrestling or something.
Yeah, I was going to call it Shotgun, but that was the Saturday night show for like fucking WCW. There is like a gun themed one that I've heard about recently that does shit like this, and yeah, like it's this weird thing where wrestling is still treated as a sport. Like kayfabe is alive in Japan still, for the most part. But
even when it I don't know if it's necessarily that, because they still cheer they'll cheer the heels as much as they cheer the faces in Japan. They've done that for far longer than American fans have.
But I guess a way to put it is that the entire country of Japan likes pretending that they still believe in kayfabe.
The thing is about wrestling history is that the truth is, we act like people only recently found out that wrestling is fake. Most of the time, most people have known wrestling is fake.
Yeah. Except when Abe Lincoln chokes on that guy. That was real.
Dude, yeah. That was definitely real. And when Abe Lincoln went out and got that fucking promo of I can lick anyone, blah, 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 that was real too.
Yeah, and then after that, when he picked up the fucking the announcer and just Burning Hammer trimmed him through 3 tables, that was also real. That was not scripted.
Those were some quality made tables.
Yeah, he just like they just had to sell Abe as a heel.
Oh my god! I'm like, does he Burning Hammer the guy onto the table? Table don't break; they just bounce off. Does the announcer still call it a Japanese table?
Yes, but no, the table just starts laughing and they don't know why.
Yeah. You see, you thought that we were using the recording of Iori's laughter. No, for Iori, they were just using the recording of a table's laughter.
Yeah. That's why when you look up the credits list for any KOF game, and you look under Iori Yagami, it says table sound.
What they need to do. Okay, earlier I was saying they need to make another fighting game with wrestlers. Here's something alternative. Make a wrestling game with fighting game characters, right? Because we've seen that a little bit. Because Virtual Pro Wrestling did have Wolf Hawkfield as one of the character choices.
Yeah.
But wrestling game with fighting game characters, secret boss, Iori pretending to be somebody else, he's Mr. Table.
Yeah. And like I'm just imagining like the getting to him is like a very dumb list of requirements, and then when you do,
you have to put someone through a table in every match that you play.
and you must not get busted open and stuff like that. And like when you do that, you hear like the whole arena goes black, and then you just hear Iori's laughter coming in from the intercom, and then a light shines to the top of the ramp, and he's there in a table costume, and he goes, "I am the table." In English.
Yeah.
The Japanese guy voicing Iori in English.
Oh god, but it's badly delivered. I am the table.
Yeah.
No, Tabor. I am the Tabor.
It will be Tabor, I think.
Tabor.
But let me check.
I am the Tabor.
What, Tabor? Maybe? I don't fucking know. I need to check. I don't remember Japanese pronunciation words. What?
There is a wonderful YouTube video out there that you should all look up, titled, I Just Unlocked Goose Howard. Go look it up. It's a good video.
Alright, I got it right the first time. It's Tabor.
Tabor. I am the Tabor. I will stain my hands with your blood.
So yeah. I mean, yeah, a fighting game character wrestling game could be fun. No. But at the same time, I feel like it would either have to play like Kinnikuman or Action Arcade Wrestling. And Action Arcade Wrestling wasn't good, if memory serves. Or it was good for what it was. It just wasn't like outstanding.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of quality move animating guys in Fire Pro that put a lot of work into adding fighting game characters in Fire Pro.
I just want to see. Fucking, I don't even know who to call out. Who would be the dumbest characters? I want to see Yuri and Akuma do a muscle docking.
I mean, we've still not yet got a game where Yuri gets her raging demon and gets to fight Akuma, right?
Yeah. That's CVS.
But then if the world saw that, it would be too scared to know what to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be an interesting like side plot for CVS3 if they actually like make stories for like arcade stories for all the characters of Yuri leaving Kyokugen. And then learning Asatsuken instead, and she's just overtaken by the Satsuno Hado because she immediately, like, the first person she saw who was using that style was Akuma.
Akuma just sees Yuri and he's like, wait, she knows all the Ansatsuken techniques. This must be the greatest of our practitioners.
Yeah.
At last I have found my greatest foe. Forget Ryu, forget Oro, forget Gin. It's all about Yuri. A super secret boss.
And then Shin Yuri. And if you beat Shin Yuri with Akuma, then he has a special ending where he learns the rear view. That's his new super in Street Fighter 8 or whatever, Street Fighter 7.
No, fuck Street Fighter 7. We're skipping straight to Street Fighter 8. We need a perfectly circular logo for Akuma's ass cheeks to fit into.
Yeah. No, you see it. The logo is just like someone wrote down on a piece of paper Street Fighter, and then the 8 is Akuma's ass. It's the outline of Akuma's ass.
Alright then.
So anyway, on to other news. Schoolgirls Second Encore Season 1 Pass was announced. Also, it's coming to Nintendo Switch and Xbox X.
Yes.
Now, here's a question that I think the answer to is no. Is Second Encore even on PlayStation, or are they just skipping that? Because normal Schoolgirls was on PS3. Normal Schoolgirls is on PS3 because it's in PS Plus. But I feel like Second Encore just isn't on PlayStation. I can check. Give me a sec.
I have no knowledge.
Okay, I am wrong. Schoolgirl Second Encore is on PlayStation already. So yeah.
All right.
So yeah, they are doing this. Once again, I don't remember if it's this or Dance Fighting Hurts, but crossplay may be in the works. So that would be nice. If such a thing happens for this game, I'm probably buying it for PlayStation, which would be kind of moot because you already bought it for me on PC. But hey, it would run better on PlayStation for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Extra tasty.
Yeah, and even better, I could use my arcade stick that I fixed with my own hands. Because
in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah. I mean, context for the viewers. I have I don't even remember what this is called properly. It's a Hori arcade stick that's not supposed to be like repaired. Once it's done, it's done. That doesn't stop me though. It didn't stop me though, and I got it apart enough to be able to figure out what the problem is. Figure out that I can't actually solve it, and then fuck around with it long enough that it just kind of disappeared for now, and then it will come back up later. So yeah, I have a working arcade stick again for now. So that's fun. But yeah, then in very recent news, as in literally I saw this before we started recording, the new Fatal Fury will allegedly feature Terry and be more single-player focused. Whatever that means.
Interesting. Well, we all knew Terry was going to be there. Like, come on. Like, in all honesty, Terry being in Smash Ultimate was probably the single biggest driving factor to convince SNK to greenlight another Fatal Fury.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
the increased single-player focus is...
Go ahead.
The increased single-player focus is a surprise, but if they're starting from the ground up with some of the, let's be real here, simpler online multiplayer benefits like rollback, kept in, then perhaps, it would be just simple as like, yeah, here's rollback, there you go, multiplayer guys. Anyways, let's put the budget to single player,
Yeah. And also, this isn't completely new to SNK. The Let's Play 2 was very story-focused when it came to, having story. It had a lot of relatively speaking, it had a lot of cutscenes that were animated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, they might just be trying to get back into the speed of 1999.
Well, that said, they're going to have to do some work to deal with the fact that a lot of the people coming into Garo 2 would be people who have never been exposed to the Fatal Fury story before.
Yeah.
The last entry was in the late 90s, and even then, Fatal Fury was always kind of like third runner to Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, even at its peak,
Yeah, and so to fix this, the easiest way they could do it is just, at least for the game, like take the endings from the old games, and then just have a narrator read out some of them, like the plot important ones, like as in like make cliff notes. And then sometimes when you get into the games with voice acting, then add in bits and pieces of the cutscenes with voice acting, so we can get Terry going, "This building is burning!" From fucking Metal Impact 2. It's not even canon anymore, but whatever.
See, on one hand, Terry's goofy voice acting is a big part of what makes him an iconic character. On the other hand, I just can't see a modern game that's trying to take its story seriously having Terry have the goofy old way of speaking. Even with KOF trying to retcon it being, oh no, Terry isn't normal. Terry is like brain damaged or something. Everyone else knows he speaks like a complete fucking weirdo.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh, if you actually look at everybody's win quotes in KOF 13 against Terry, a lot of them will go like, Terry, what are you talking about, dude? What? Don't say it like that. That's so weird. It's the same way how a lot of the win quotes against Mai in that game are the characters saying, please put some clothes on.
That's funny. But yeah, like on one hand, I can see your point. On the other, I feel like it would be ruining the character of Terry Bogard if they made it so he doesn't say Barnacle. You know, like that's.
Well, I think no matter.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, they will probably advise the voice actor, if they go to the trouble of getting an English dub at all, they will probably advise the voice actor to say the line reads weird for, burning, are you okay? Yeah, and all that,
Yeah.
By the way, check that off on your bingo card right there.
I was going to say, like, how far are we along with the bingo?
Oh boy. I'll have to see if I have bingo. Give me a second. Well, I didn't remember the news, so there's one. But go ahead and keep talking. I'll check off the bingos.
So yeah, this increased single player focus could mean a couple things. Like the least I expect out of them is I just want arcade mode stuff. I want an arcade mode with characters, with an intro and
Holy
an
shit,
ending.
we have a diagonal bingo.
Nice.
Wait, we don't. Okay, never mind. We remembered which podcast we're on, so we don't have a diagonal bingo.
Okay.
But damn, we were close. If we had forgot which podcast we were on, we'd have diagonal bingo.
It can still happen.
No, wait. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Ignore it. We only got 2 of the steps to a diagonal bingo.
Oh.
All right, carry on.
All right, a lot of things happened real quick. Right then and there. Are you looking on the old one?
No, I was looking at the new one. I'm just stupid and forgot to check what I was actually talking about. And I just saw where we had 2 diagonals in a row, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then I actually remembered, oh, right, the rest of it.
Okay, there's only one topic we need to hit for us to get a vertical bingo, though. It's not likely to come out, but hey.
I need to talk about how I need to lament that I rarely play the games I shower with praise.
Would that work? Yeah, we could have 2, because that or I need to bring we need to talk about fucking free to play games, and we have a vertical bingo with that one too. But yeah,
anyway, could, but I don't see us bringing up Project L right now.
Yeah, like there's no real reason to. So anyway, yeah, like the thing I want out of this, if it's true, is just the bare minimum. Please have an arcade mode with like 8 fights, an intro, a somewhat animated intro, a somewhat animated outro, maybe a rival fight with an animated something or other. And then have some of the old KOF like round start animations where rivals would have specific stuff. I know that wasn't a Fatal Fury thing, but it's a nice touch that's gone, just in general. So
on some level, like, of course, the peak for crazy arcade mode features is like Street Fighter 3. But yeah, the absolute, like, honestly, the most we could hope for nowadays is. Did I say Street Fighter 3? I meant Soul Calibur 3. The highest we can hope for nowadays is Street Fighter 4, where it's just like, we get an outro, an intro, and we get a special rival fight. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I mean, that can be done well, like in Tekken 5. That's pretty much what they had in Tekken 5 too, aside from the fact that I think that some characters had 2 rival fights. In fact, I'm wrong. Every character had 2 rival fights, if memory serves. Whatever. But yeah, otherwise, it was just that. It was just intro cutscene, couple of fights, rival fight, couple of fights, rival fight, like Devil Jin, I think, literally after the second one, and then introducing Jinpachi, fighting Jinpachi, ending. And like it's not a lot. It doesn't do a whole lot in telling a story. It's more than what we get, so I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
And yeah. Otherwise, I don't know what them trying to be more single player focused could mean. It might mean the thing that they did with Maximum Impact, where you can fight the battle slug for experience or something like that. But I don't know. Otherwise, yeah, go ahead.
It really could just be the sky's the limit, because I mean, I couldn't see them going for the trouble of doing like a Mortal Kombat style story mode if it's going to be 2D sprites. But who knows if it'll be 2D sprites?
Yeah, I mean, considering it's modern SNK,
but if they hired the Streets of Rage 4 team, if they hired the Streets of Rage 4 team to do it, then that means it would almost certainly be sprites.
Yeah, I guess the question here is, did they hire the Streets of Rage 4 team?
Yeah.
Because if they did, then it will probably be sprites. If not, then it will probably be 3D models.
Yeah.
In before Gyro 2 releases, and it has a Tekken Force mode, recently titled Tekken Force. But yeah. And then I believe that's all of the news that I have gotten. I do have a topic on the side though. That maybe
that's good, because I haven't played any fighting games this week, and you said you haven't either, right?
I'm wrong. I did actually. I just remembered while we're talking. Let me see if I did played any more, because I definitely remember one, but I need to make sure. All right. No, just the one. So, for the first time, just in general, I made the decision to download a game that I otherwise wouldn't play, but I gave it a chance. That game was DOA 5.
Okay.
I was legitimately surprised by how fun DOA 5's gameplay was.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's one of those things where I'm playing the game and I'm like, man, if not for all the booba, then this could be something.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's upside to the booba, right? Which is lots of costume choices.
Yeah, the funniest bit of DOA 5 to me was that, if you remember, they had a crossover with Virtua Fighter, because DOA 5 is just Virtua Fighter now, I guess. But
yeah, they've also inexplicably got Mai and Kula there as well.
Not Kula. I'm forgetting actually who the other one was, but not Kula. I don't remember her being on the roster select.
I was almost certain they added Kula.
No, they did add Kula, but I don't know if it was 5. I think it might have been 6. Who was the other chick that's a guest? Yeah, the DOA 5 Mai unlock is the first thing that comes up when I search for it. The way to unlock Mai, my guy, is to buy her.
Well,
you get out your credit card and then you swipe it between her tits and she's yours. That's horrible. Oh shit. Let's see. Yeah, now they
got some chick from Samurai Warriors. What the hell?
Yeah, her.
Oh, Kula was in DOA 6. Weird. And Mai came back for DOA 6 as well. What the fuck?
But yeah, it's like fucking. It's like Tekken 8. Akuma's just here now, I guess. I wish.
Yeah, I was about to say, you keep saying that, like, hoping you're going to put the energy out into the world to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to will it into existence.
To be fair, it sometimes does happen, but largely in-house.
Yeah.
Like, Cody's more of a Street Fighter character now than he is a Final Fight character, but those are both Capcom franchises.
Yeah, and like the difference between those two is that SNK is a lot more willing to let their characters be in other people's games. Like as we said last week, the way Geese was added to Tekken 7 was Arada went up to the guy who's working on fucking or whatever KOF, and just went, "Hey, can I add geese to Tekken?" And the guy went, "Yes," and that was it.
Oh man. Whew.
But yeah, so I boot up DOA 5. I played on with a couple of characters. Then I saw that the Virtual Fighter guys were there, and immediately, you know who I picked.
No.
The evil Jackie Bryant, and they kept his movesets the same between the games, so I don't have to learn shit. But yeah, and what's even better is Jackie Bryant has alternate costumes. They made Jackie Bryant alternate costumes. And what's great about this is that his default alternate costume is, well, for one, you have his Virtual Fighter 5 outfit, but also an Organization 13 coat, because he's evil and heartless. And that's how I've been playing Jackie Bryant when I play the game. But yeah, so that's been fun. I've also found a couple of characters that I actually like playing, like what's his face? Let me see if I can find him here. Yeah, Brad Wong. I didn't mind him. I also didn't mind Cobra, also named Rig. But yeah, like a lot of the things that there's a lot of things that DOA 5 took from Tekken. I don't know for sure if they immediately took it from Tekken or if it was a thing in the older games, because it's been years since I played DOA 2. But like there's so many things that Tekken 7 lacks that this game does that I associate with Tekken a lot. Like team battles. It has battles where you do KOF style elimination rounds, but up to 8 people, which is a very much a Tekken thing to me.
Yeah.
You also have a tag mode, because why not? It's fun.
Yeah.
And it even works the same as Tekken Tag 2 did. So if you do a launcher and you press the tag button, you tag in the character to do a combo immediately. And stuff like that. Yeah. Otherwise, DOA is DOA. There's not much really to say about it. It's booba. There is
MMA girl, still cool.
Yeah. I think that was that was Virtua Fighter.
She is not Virtua Fighter.
All right. I don't know who you were talking about then, I guess.
Her name's like Mira or something. Let me look it up. Mila?
Oh, her. Right.
Yeah, Spanish MMA fighter.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the fighting games I've played. And then
all right.
And then the topic I have is one that will either be maybe long or very short, depending on how much you want to engage with it.
Because I am about to shit myself.
But someone raised the interesting discussion topic of what is your most controversial fighting game opinion?
Yes, I did see the start of that, and of course one of the top comments was sort by controversial, pussy. But the trouble is when you actually hit sort by controversial on Reddit, it does not give you actual controversial takes. It gives you like, this game be suck. Like, oh, yeah. Because don't get me wrong, generally speaking, with social medias like Reddit and Twitter, the popular stuff floats to the top, even for topics that are supposed to be controversial. But at the end of the day, even your garden variety idiot will see like 3 well-done paragraphs of a controversial opinion and give it an upvote. The posts that are going to get downvoted and ranked as controversial are going to be the posts that are like, I don't like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I mean, I just checked, and I mean, you are right. For the most part, the literally the first thing that pops up is a take is the take that rollback is not the be all end all, which yeah, that's fair.
It's a very simplistic take on it, that's for certain.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's Reddit. Your words are wasted if you do put a lot of effort into writing up a big thing. But he's right. Reddit rollback is like the proper rollback. The what was it? The rollback with the delay frames and all that. The
mixed net code.
All that.
I think that's. I don't fucking remember if
that
that's
is unambiguously a good thing. But anyone who's acting like you add rollback to your fighting game and suddenly it's mega hot is a fool.
Yeah, because like you need a good game to want to play it online, and you need good online to play it online, but you need a good game too.
Yes. At the end of the day, like, rollback is not a thing that brings in business on its own.
It's a thing that keeps business.
It's a thing. Yes, it's a thing that keeps business. It's a thing that keeps it stable.
Yeah.
When you look at multiverses is all the rage right now. And a big part of it is, well, it's got all these franchises that people love. But there's another big part of it. Because Smash, despite being the raging success that it is for single-player stuff, Smash renownedly has a terrible online multiplayer community. Because its netcode is ass. Multiverses has like 10 million players playing right now, and the overwhelming majority of them are playing online because the netcode, at least, on PC, PS5, and Xbox XX, not so much on PS4, is really fucking good netcode. Especially if you've got, an Ethernet cable, which at the current moment I don't, which is why I don't play it online.
Yeah.
But either which way, if all those characters were changed into just Hobo McGee and Javo the Jabroni, then it wouldn't have got 10 million players. It would have been lucky to crack 10,000. But those 10,000 probably would have been a lot more likely to stick around.
Yeah.
But you throw it on top of all this franchise stuff and cross-play, and it's, boom, you got 10 million players. It's kind of along the same lines as how it's done it for Mortal Kombat and Injustice as well. Kept their online communities going pretty strong.
Yeah.
Now, I would highlight that Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2 still get pretty high player counts, but then an equal amount of that could be blamed on Mortal Kombat 11 just being kind of a disappointment in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've given that game a lot of chances. I've given that game 2 chances. it's still one of those things. Yeah.
I'll give it a chance again someday. I know I will. At some point, I'll splurge and buy all the DLC and be like, wow, I still don't like this game.
Yeah, for me, like, the thing is, like, if you tomorrow were like, hey, I know my internet can handle it again, and I want to record Mortal Kombat 11, I would boot up Mortal Kombat, or I would download Mortal Kombat 11 first, but, I would boot up Mortal Kombat 11 and then record it with you. I have no reason to play this game alone. Like...
Yeah.
Like, I can't... Like,
it's a lot of...
But this is most fighting games, or, like, most games in general. Like, for a lot of things, I have no reason to engage with it alone. I am willing to put up with it because it's not offensive to me, usually. But, there's just nothing for me.
Yeah. I guess then the question would be of what is each of our respective controversial takes on fighting games, but honestly, I'm so used to seeing both sides of just about every argument in fighting games that I don't know what I could say that would be controversial.
Yeah.
It also helps, you and I are not exposed to the usual dialogue around fighting games. We are exposed to the dialogue amongst fighting game fans. Like, for amongst like casual everyday folks, there are a lot of things that you and I would just take as given obvious things that would be highly controversial amongst them. Which is stuff like fighting games aren't that brutal for casuals to play.
Yeah, it takes
fighting
time,
games,
but it takes time. But if you can beat Dark Souls, you can play fighting games. Fighting games is a lot easier. And Dark Souls isn't even that fucking hard. Anyway,
I'd say it's quite a bit of that. Yeah, I'd say if you're going in with the attitude, going into any competitive game with the attitude of I'm not allowed to play this until I'm pro at it, then you're coming at it with the wrong attitude. I mean, look, this is something, and I know it looks a lot like I just repeat what I hear from Sajam or Wooly or Max, and sometimes they have, well, Sajam has lots of intelligent takes most of the time, so does Wooly, but like the same attitude is not necessarily really applied to fighting games that is to a lot of other competitive games. Because you and I are both well aware of how many brutal elements there can be of getting good at MOBAs, right?
Yeah.
Because both you and I have put in enough time at Smite that we're all right at Arena, but you and I are both just utterly fucking lost whenever we switch to the proper laned game modes.
I mean, I'm not completely lost because I know the basic idea, because that's where I was initially taught when I played the game in like it was like freshly out of beta, I think. But yeah, so
yeah, but how's your laning, jungling, and last hitting skills?
Oh, it's shit. Like, I won't claim it's good. Theoretically, I know what I'm supposed to do on a basic level. I can't actually execute it because I don't have experience.
Like, fighting games are not any more brutal than League or Dota or Smite in that regard, and even Smite's like a lot easier to get into than League or Dota.
Yeah.
But fighting games, for a variety of reasons we don't need to really get into now, have different standards applied to them. And so people are less willing to make an investment in fighting games just on, I guess, the faith that they have in League or Dota or Smite. As a result, there's this odd perception that fighting games are the most difficult of the competitive game genres to get into.
Yeah, but then we also need to point out the fact that the games we pointed out, League, Dota, and Smite, are all free. And fighting games don't tend to be.
Yes, that is a big element of
it. And that is actually one of the arguments that I'm looking at right now on my screen. Or someone raised that fighting games as a product are better at selling themselves, and I feel like I agree with that.
Yes, they are terrible at selling themselves to a casual audience. And like you can observe this now because like Smash Melee is an insane fighting game to get into. That is a game that has been dissected and peeled apart and strategized down to every fine-tuned element over the last 20 years. And Multiverses and Nickelodeon All-Star Battle are both games that clearly are trying to bring back Melee style and make a more fine-tuned platform fighter built to behave like Melee. And Multiverses, like we just said, 10 million players. Like, it's nuts. And because it's free to play, though, people aren't coming at Multiverses from the perspective of like, oh god, I gotta learn how to properly edge guard, I gotta learn how to properly wave dash, shit like that, you know?
Yeah, and people also can't really do the thing of oh no, this guy trashed me with this character, they're DLC. So I can't lab. Also they're broken and shit, and fuck them.
That's a pretty big one, yeah. Let's see. I mean, there's some stuff that I think is only controversial for people's knee-jerk reactions, but when you explain it, people are like, oh, well, I agree with that. Like, for instance, the roster saying as a blanket statement, the roster doesn't need to be balanced. Because it doesn't.
Yeah, the roster needs to be balanced enough that you don't have fucking Ignis, but past that.
The ideal is for every character to be viable, but let's be honest, there are loads of fighting games out there that are a delight to play and extremely exciting both to play and watch that have horrible balance.
You can't just say Marvel 2, you know. They won't hit you.
See, I've gotten so used to invoking Marvel 2 as the ultimate example of a great fighting game with no balance that I kind of wanted to cast a wider net. But yes, Marvel 2 is the ultimate example. But there's a reason people love to watch Hokuto no Ken. That game, the concept of balance in that game. Yeah. The game is just broke. And yet it's great.
Yeah, because sometimes this is the thing of what came up with DNF that it's a kusoge. I said it wrong. So sometimes I pronounce things right and sometimes I don't. But yeah, whatever. It's a kusoge, and how it failed because it's a kusoge or it didn't fail because it's a kusoge. People are arguing back and forth, and that has nothing to do with it. Like the thing that when you think of kusoges, you think of Hokuto no Ken, you think of Sengoku Basara Cross, you think of fucking Don't Never Die. And
yeah.
And what's thing that they all share? Their mechanics aren't really that different to mainline games from the same publishers or developers. Or I guess in Dono's case, Street Fighter, maybe? I forget. But yeah. So Hokuto no Ken, I don't remember how the control scheme is in that, but I'm assuming it's similar to fucking Personas. I know for a fact that Sengoku Basara Cross's control scheme is pretty much just Persona's input scheme. Well, not even Persona's. It's BlazBlue's input scheme. You have a light attack, you have a medium attack, you have a hard attack, and you have your assist. And that's different from, say, Guilty Gear XX, because it's a lot less buttons. But at the same time, that's still more stuff there than you get out of DNF Duel. Because how should I put this? Because those games still have motion inputs. A lot of them. That's part of the problem. But and
yeah.
And most of them tend to be things like quarter circles or at most DP motions. But sometimes you just get a 720. Why not? And it's those sorts of things. And it's a thing of for people who like Soge and actually like playing Soge, not just watching it, I feel like the tactile feel of having to actually do the shitty ass dribbling combos is a part of the enjoyment, because you're not just doing the combo. We're going through all of these hoops, so you can do the same 3 moves to the guy until they die in 20 minutes.
That actually does remind me. Here's another one that would be controversial for casuals, but not for hardcore guys. If you want to get good at fighting games, you don't need to get good at comboing.
I mean, you want to get good at fighting games, you need to set a level for yourself to begin with. Get
good at some aspect of it.
Not even that, but because there was a thread I read recently that was very interesting, and I agreed with it. That said, casuals often forget that fighting games have 2 training modes, and this comes back to the discussion that we've had a lot on this podcast, because they also is the point of the arcade mode is a training mode in itself, because it trains you to try and do the things you would do against the stationary or slightly responding AI in training mode, and just putting that into what's technically a live match. Obviously, it's not gonna behave the same way a person does, and it only gives you the bare minimum of knowledge on how to attack a person. But at the same time, split second decision making is a big part of fighting games. Or at least, can be a big part of fighting games, and that's a thing that you need to train as well. So, being able to do inputs under pressure is as important as trying to learn how to do shimmies or how to oki or anything else that you may want to learn in normal training mode. And
yeah,
and I agree with this take, because that's what I'm doing. I usually train against the AI, and then I also train against you. Or I train against other people online if I actually feel like it, but that's very rare. But there's a reason that I did fairly decent in Guilty Gear Online, because I have a lot of experience just with the basics fighting against the AI, and then I also have a lot of experience fighting against you specifically. which is not the same as fighting, a million people, but I fought you a million times, so I can beat you, or, I can have a contest with you fairly consistently. So, and assuming that we're both, around the midpoint, that means that I can have a fight enough contest with most people. And that's...
I think either you or I could enter pools at Evo and not completely get our asses blown out.
I mean, if I enter pools, I want to go out like Wooly. I want to get matched with Daigo first round, and I want to shake his hand as he's fucking doing a touch of death on me.
Well, that's the thing. The Super Best Friends, they all love to make fun of Wooly and act like Daigo just went out there and murdered him. If you go and see the match, Wooly actually gives Daigo a lot of trouble in the first 2 matches of the set, but the third match, Wooly gets cleaned out. Yes, because he clearly got inside his own head about it.
Yeah. Genuinely, the thing that I just said is so like just such a funny concept to me that if I had actually had the money and knew how to do it, I would pay Daigo to beat me on stream, because how many people can say, hey, I got beaten. I asked Daigo to actually beat my ass on stream and not hold back, and he probably would, because why should he care? But then like 5% of his power would be enough probably. It would just be a funny story.
Was there not an event Twitch ran like 6 months ago of getting a bunch of pro fighting game players to teach a bunch of the famous Twitch streamers how to play fighting games? And one of them specifically got taught just use the 1,000-hand slap over and over again. And she did it, and she won just spamming 1,000-hand slap or 100-hand slap.
Yeah, the 1,000-S slap.
1,000-hand slap. No, that's Armika's move.
Yeah.
Her ass is so gigantic that when she slaps it, it's like when Hulk...
No.
It's like when the Hulk claps his hands, right?
The slap variant is Honda's. The 1,000-S clap is Mika's.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Kum's fucking... It's Kum's clapping super, but she does it with her ass.
Oh, no. There's already a fighting game with a 1,000-ass clap. How are we forgetting? Good old Victor and Darkstalkers.
Oh, Victor. All right. Yeah.
I forget. I need to crack open the arcade collection again sometime soon. But does Victor not have a move where he throws you with his ass cheeks?
I think he does.
Darkstalkers is amazing.
Yeah, Darkstalkers needs to come back just because all of the fucking fetish people will fuel Capcom for the next 50 years.
That's a big part of it, and my god,
just
could you imagine
this. Imagine Darkstalkers on the Ori engine, and they go full in.
Well, that would make a lot of fetish people go nuts, especially if they got to see Morgan and Felicia in HD.
That's why I'm saying they go all in, yes.
Imagine the Gen Z memesters' reaction to Victor, right? Yeah. For this man, not being able to sneak through because of the clap of his ass cheeks distracts the guards is 100% real.
I mean, no, the thing is, he's not trying to sneak past the guards. He's throwing them with his ass. That's why it's clapping.
I'm imagining a Metal Gear guard walking down a hallway. He sees some footprints on the ground. He's like, whose shoe prints are these? He turns slowly to the left just to see Victor's ass right in front of him. Huh? Oh, boy.
Yeah. But anyway, so very, very, very with the controversial topics. Let me see if I can...
I was saying you don't need to...
I guess.
I was just saying, you don't need to do big combo.
Yeah.
Yes, Daigo is a god of fighting games because he do big combo and he do big input craziness. But Daigo also, by his own admission, is not a crazy strategy guy. In the famous match he had with Justin Wong, and Justin Wong is famous for not doing big combo, Justin Wong won,
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. like different people are good at different things. Like out of the two of us, I am the Daigo, you are the Justin Wong, because you're better at strategy, but I have better execution.
Huh.
At least as far as I know.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
it's difficult to say. I think I play more around. I don't know that I would say I have intricate strategy, at least not with most characters. I just try to play around. I just try to play around neutral buttoning, right?
Yeah. And
in the trifecta that's been said before of body, heart, mind, I think I'm more heart than I am the other two, and I think you're more body.
Yeah, body and a bit of heart with no mind. All monkey. But all wolf, technically, but yeah.
I am all heart. I am mostly heart with a bit of mind and a shriveled body.
You're the heart guy from Adventure Time.
Oh God. Oh my.
And then the pink is all mind.
Yeah.
Pink is Mega Brain.
Well,
or Mega Mind.
That's on one hand, that's kind of a joke because it's like, well, yeah, Pink's not super into any fighting games, at least at the moment. On the other hand, when Pink does get good at a video game, generally, yes, Pink is more mind than he is body or heart.
Yeah.
Like, Pink is 100% Mr. Encyclopedia Brain at Dead by Daylight, and he kind of was Mr. Encyclopedia Brain at Rainbow Six as well.
Yeah. And like the stuff that he can do with execution, he would always make up for with strategy. Even when I did sets with him in XX, so
it's weird that trifecta it works for all competitive games, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because like the same can be said for like Rainbow Six. You know, the guys who are body are like fantastic aim, fantastic reflexes. Mind, oh, I know what's the best position on the map. I know what's the best gun for this. Heart, I know they're going. I know based off what their psychology is, they're going to attack this side, so I'm just going to sit in this hallway and wait for them.
Yeah, which does raise the weird strategy thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to like provide another example.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, for instance, another one, strategy games, your, Total Wars or your Age of Empires or your StarCrafts. Body, I have insane clicks per minute. I can micromanage this unit so that he is fucking invincible. Mind, I know that this is the most optimal way to build out my fucking Protoss pylons or whatever. Yeah. Heart, he's going to build a base over there. It works. It just works for everything.
Yeah, although there is this weird thing where, like, with Rainbow Six, for example, I was more of the heart player than body, and Pink was body, and you were mind, kind of.
Was I?
I mean, for a bit, yeah, and then Pink played the game more than any of us.
I can't really picture that. I always thought you seemed to have the most supernatural aim. It seemed like you always got the most headshots, but Pink knew the maps better.
I mean, for me it was a mix because I usually got headshots or I got headshotted myself, but I also spent like when we were on defense, I usually spent time anchoring, and then just working off of information after that. So if I hear footsteps, then they're coming from this way.
See, I only ever got kills if A, I got the drop on the person, or B, their aim was terrible.
Or C, they were fused with the LMG. Then they just die.
Every time I got into a gunfight in that game, it was that awful fucking pistol duel from that one Resident Evil CG movie. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Where Chris gets into a pistol duel with the villain, I forget whatever his name was. And they are just rolling around shooting at each other, doing gun katas and shit. Missing every shot for like a straight minute.
Nice.
And near point blank camera, range.
Yeah, the camera zooms out. They're standing right next to each other.
Yes, actually.
What?
Yeah, but they're like doing dodge rolls and shit and spinning and rapid reloads, gun katas, but still, they're missing every shot, both of them.
That's literally a Naked Gun segment. That's even on the Naked Gun movies.
Chris leans over. Oh, a quarter.
But yeah.
Like a dwarf at a urinal, I was going to have to stay on my toes.
Let's see. Shit.
See, I've knocked you off your game with Leslie Nielsen. That's one of your weaknesses, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, because I'm nostalgic for him.
Yeah, we all are. Honestly, on some level, like comedy fully died with Robin Williams, but it started to die with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, like he was in a couple of bad movies, but like the one of the reasons
he was the best part of those bad movies.
Yeah, like one of the reasons that superhero movie is more tolerable than disaster movie is because Leslie Nielsen is in it. So
yeah.
But yeah. I'm trying to regain very ver. we talked about you don't need to do big combo. But you don't need to do anything to get good at fighting game. Play fighting game, you'll get good at one part of fighting game, the other will come with it eventually. Like
there's going to be some element of it that you find
fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there are some people, like I get a kick out of trying combos sometimes. But I'll look at, like, there are some times where it's not even that it doesn't sound interesting or fun to you. It just sounds like, ooh, that'd be a lot of work. I don't know if that's for me.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, get into a neutral contest with this guy. Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. Try and figure out the best bomb setup to make sure that they die as soon as they get up. That sounds...
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're back.
Oh, I thought you were saying "oh no" to something I said.
No, you could have after Cyrex.
I thought you were like terrified by the idea of someone trying to learn Cyrex bomb setups.
I am.
God, no!
You haven't seen what the AI has done to me. I don't need to know what someone who actually knows what they're doing. It does, I guess.
Oh boy! All right then.
And I guess I
can't think of anything.
I guess my controversial take is the one that I always have. Akuma should be in every game.
More than multiplayer.
No. I mean, my take has never been that single player matters more than multiplayer. It's that no part of fighting games matters more. Like single player is only as important as multiplayer is as important as tertiary stuff, I guess. But like, well, I guess like single player should be as important as multiplayer because it's another aspect of keeping the genre alive and keeping people playing. And people like we shouldn't be trying to push people who don't want to play online into playing online. It should always be an option to them, though.
I think, like, there needs to be good motivation to do either. Because I think another big part of why people will go on and play multiverses is because they get the daily challenges and they get the loot and all that, and it's like, work towards getting a Shaggy costume. Dunk the opponent off the side of the stage 6 times. And all that, let's be honest, that's a very, I don't know how it is difficult from a coding perspective, but that's a very simple thing to just put in there, and it's just like, ooh, I want to do that. I want to dunk 6 people off the side of the stage.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a simple way to get people motivated to hop into multiplayer matches. While on the single player side, the motivation can come from see cutscenes.
Yeah, see stories.
Play weird gimmick fights.
Like see why these people matter. Get to know why these people are fighting exactly, and what their relationships are.
Yeah, and also understand at the end of the day, there's going to be some people who do not care about playing a fighting game competitively and just want to see the story. there are going to be some people who do not care about the story. They are here to play competitively. There are going to be some people here who like playing competitively and are interested in the story, but not enough to play through the story mode. They just want to read about the lore on a Wikipedia page and watch a cutscene compilation on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
So there's different things there, and if you completely ignore single player or completely ignore multiplayer, then you could be missing out on either audience. While at the same time, you have to have the understanding of there's only so much budget in the world, and sometimes you do have to pick one.
Yeah.
No, I suppose I couldn't think of anything just hotter of a controversial take.
NetherRealm sucks and has never been good. Mortal Kombat.
You don't even agree with that.
No, I don't. Mortal Kombat animates worse than Clay Fighter. Let's see what else.
These are not controversial takes, at least on that subreddit.
I guess so.
I mean, it's become an increasingly cold take to say Mortal Kombat animation sucks.
I mean, in a manner, it does suck, but to think of like, how much is it affecting gameplay to me? Like,
yeah, that's the thing that mystifies to me. Like, I'll never say it's pretty, but I don't understand the people who are like, I can't play the fucking game because Liu Kang's crouching jab just looks too janky. Like, what? It's too stinky.
Yeah,
it's just too stinky. I don't like it.
Yeah, whenever Liu Kang does his crouching jab, he emanates fart gas off of his skin.
Yeah.
And these people have the rare smell-o-vision TVs from the 90s. But yeah, so what other dumb take can I bring up? Anime fighters are only played by perverts. That's partially true though.
It depends on the fighting game.
Yeah,
it depends on the fighting game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's jumping to the defense of the BlazBlue community. The fucking melty blood community looks down on the BlazBlue community. Fuck.
All right, check that off on the bingo card.
Yeah, I forgot. Yep, that was a completely uncalled for dunking on BlazBlue. Living up to the stereotypes today, I am.
Yeah, we both are.
And I just started today's recording by saying, the bingo card's kind of unnecessary now. We don't repeat ourselves as much.
And the only reason we don't have a bingo right now is because we didn't have a schedule slip. Nice. Anyway, so
oh boy.
What other dumb takes can I say? Street Fighter should remove the diversity. This is an actual take that I saw recently.
Oh god, did you see the? Oh, I've not seen the video yet, but there was a highlight of the Castle Super Beast that Wooly uploaded that was very simply titled, "The biggest problem with modding black people out of Fallout 4 is getting new voice actors."
I saw the title. I didn't watch the video, but I legitimately saw.
Oh my god.
I legitimately saw someone post on Twitter, I will not be buying Diversity Fighter 6. Dude, have you played Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Can you list all of the white people in Street Fighter 2? I can. Guile. That's it.
Oh, Cammy.
Hey, Cammy. Yeah, I forgot about Cammy, but yeah. Vega's Spanish. This is when we get into the thing of the different definitions of white in Europe and America.
Well, that's a big part of it. And to begin with, like, the concept of referring to someone by race instead of ethnicity is a very sledgehammer blanket way of doing it that does not work.
Yeah.
Because then you get into, like, the really weird shit of people going like, well, Middle Easterners are white. And it's like, oh, boy.
Yeah,
what about Turks?
Like, I know this from experience because this was an issue on the forums for a bit. and I just decided to fucking not comment on it. But you know how Romanis are white? No, we are not. Like,
yeah,
I've seen Romani people with
you're American white. That's the thing. You're American white.
Yeah, like I've seen Romani people with legitimate black skin, but you know, white.
Yeah. Oh man, like.
But anyway,
one of the things that will just confound an American is say that there are white people, native pale-skinned people in Africa. Native.
Yeah.
Like, if someone, I guarantee you take an American to Morocco or Libya, he is going to think it's going to be all black people. It ain't.
It's really not.
No.
Boy. But yeah, like that thing fucking was dumb. Like, you know, let's remove all of the non-white people of a Street Fighter. The game with the protagonist. Okay, Ken's American. Well, American Japanese.
Ken's. Yeah, I was about to say Ken's American, but he's the kind of character that it absolutely would not shock me if they said that like his mom was Japanese.
Yeah, like Ken's mixed. So technically, I guess they are affront to God to that person.
Like, even going forward into the series, like, how many white guys are there in Street Fighter 3?
Alex, Remy, I guess.
Alex, Hugo, Remy.
12.
Dudley's almost certainly Indian or something.
12, Necro. They're white.
No,
Their skin is white.
No. 12 definitely ain't anything. Necro is some kind of mutant. He was made in a Russian lab, but that don't make him white.
But his skin is white. But no, genuinely, I think that might
I'd like to see somebody go, what about Urian and Gil? No.
Gil is Magnet. This is a thing to see. Magnet.
Gil is Magnet. He puts that on his fucking census little card there he gets every 10 years. Ethnicity, Magnet.
Yeah.
Like, does Urian just put lightning?
He puts Mercury. Because that's what he covers himself in. He lays himself with Mercury. It's a fucking miracle he hasn't died yet from mercury poisoning.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's I don't even think that's really a fighting game take right there, because that's just the weirdo crowd of like, you gotta get your political people out of my game there, which that's not a fighting game problem. That's a global problem nowadays.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, by that same note, I'm sure you can go to the right corner of the internet right now and find loads of Chinese nationalists losing their shit about Jamie.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh boy, but yeah, that sounds like. Oof. Well, every podcast needs to end with racism at some point.
I like this take. The take is just Tekken 7 is obnoxious.
See, that's what I started with. People just posting Street Fighter stinky. Stinky game. Thanks.
Yeah, the opposite is also here. Blaze Blue Cross Tech was amazing and it needs a sequel. I guess.
I think that was a game that there were a fair few people into, but it needs a sequel. Give it 10 years, and people won't have such a bad association with the name of oh, it's a fighting game that brings together a bunch of franchises nobody was expecting to see come together.
And
all the characters that are returning to it from other fighting games have had their movesets cut down to almost nothing.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
Because by 2030, that will be the norm. Every character will have one special. It will be a Hadouken. And you will like it.
That's not how these things work.
I know, I'm making a joke.
As a matter of fact, if we keep following trends, and either Multiverses or Project L or Street Fighter 6 defines things, we don't know how Project L will play, but Street Fighter 6 seems to be going back to the let's just give each character everything thing. In which case, there's more of a decent chance we go back to the other direction, where it's like, all right, let's crack open this character's moveset, and then you just see the Tekken 7 scroll bar of like, oh no, how small is the thing on the scroll bar?
Yeah.
How big is this moveset?
And then next, and it's like Show 6, where every move has the logos of the games it comes from, or rather, I guess the grooves or whatever it comes from, and then you can just see which groove allows you to use which moves. That's how 6 did it. If you want to play Show 2 rules, then you get Show 2 movesets. Good luck.
I guess that's simpler than trying to adapt each character to the movesets of each character from each game to the rules of each game.
But all of those characters, if memory serves, weren't in Show 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What other dumb take can I just fucking throw out yeah?
Let's see. The dumbest takes in fighting games. Ooh, boy. Let's see. Rollback cuts out the skill of delay-based matchmaking. Because with delay-based matchmaking, there was delay-based netcode, there was a skill of playing around the delay.
Now, not only that, but reading your opponent was harder because you saw their moves later.
Yeah. There were no visual clues. You had to go off raw prediction.
Yeah. And then in the next 3 to 5 business days, you would see if you were right.
By the way, all your combos, hope you practice them with the frame delay of 10 in practice mode. Otherwise...
Not a frame delay of 10. Hope you chucked your console or PC into the ocean and played it there. Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this, I have a higher tolerance for delay-based than you do, but I have to admit that a lot of the stuff it does is dumb.
Whew.
Like, technically, I can do combos on delay-based and stuff like that. More than than our friend group, at least.
Yeah.
But like, it's a thing of like, I don't want fucking bad rollback. I don't want delay. I want good enough rollback that I don't notice it. Like if I have a choice,
that's the ideal.
Otherwise, it's still a thing of like, I would rather play delay based than bad rollback, because at least with delay based I can somewhat see sometimes, and bad rollback has given me bad PTSD of teleportation. I don't like it. But yeah.
Oh, Mortal Kombat, they stole our boner culture.
Yeah. And then
that's culture with a K.
Yeah. I was going to make a bad joke, never mind. So
Boner Combat!
Not only that, but here's the thing that I actually say sometimes. There is a dumb take that I admit, but that doesn't mean I don't agree with it still. Not only did Mortal Kombat steal a boring culture, Killer Instinct tried to steal Mortal Kombat culture or something. I don't know. I mean, legitimately, I cannot look at Killer Instinct and just not go, that's someone trying to be Mortal Kombat. Like, I can see that it does its own thing for some reason.
I think it's partly fair. I think that I think it's definitely a lot more fair for the first two KIs, but I think that's definitely at least partly fair. Because, I mean, like, honestly, on some level, KI, especially the original 2, was trying to beat Mortal Kombat almost like, let's say, Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting were trying to beat a Street Fighter.
Yeah. Like, my first Killer Instinct was Gold. I played, I gave the game a shot because I was like, hey, that game sounds cool. Like, the title, literally, the title sounds cool, so I'll give it a shot. And I played Killer Instinct Gold on the N64. First problem, playing fighting games on N64. But aside from that, also...
Yeah. Well, your third hand wasn't any good that day?
Nah, it was fine, I just used my dick, but, you know, as usual.
We just didn't understand. The controller was built for Vortigons, not humans.
Yeah. But the other thing is that, like, I played, I want to say, a couple hours of it. Like, I definitely played more than one session, somehow, of Killer Instinct Gold. And at the end of it, I was just like, this game is just literally trying to be Mortal Kombat, and it's failing at it very hard, it's just very try-hard. And ever since, I can't hear people talk about Killer Instinct and not be somewhat disgusted. At least low-key. It's a thing of like the 2013 game is a lot better than the originals, but it's still using the same characters, and so there's still a connection.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of updating a lot of those characters, but I would be like, when I look at Ryo from Art of Fighting and in King of Fighters as well, and when I look at Jago in Killer Instinct, I'm fine with them. As a matter of fact, I do quite like them both, but at the same time, anytime I open up playing them, one of the first thoughts that will pop in my head without fail is, man, this motherfucker is just a fucking Shoto.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, just about every fighting game probably does that. Because, like, I'm forgetting, which character is it in Fexel? Oh, Mr. Justice or whatever it is in Fexel is just straight up Ken, right?
Yeah.
I need to, God damn it, doing this podcast makes me feel like I need to start playing some fighting games again. I want to play Fexel again. Do I have Fexel installed? I don't have Fexel installed. I need to fix that. Oh, no, I have Fexel installed. I need to play Fexel later. I want to play Fexel. Anyways. I guess that would be a shitty video game take. You're never allowed to imitate the character designs used in another fighting game. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what fighting game you are. I'm going to love your Zangief knockoffs and your Balrog knockoffs in any fighting game, right?
Yeah. And similarly for me, the reason I played, similarly for me, the reason I main Yuri in King of Fighters is because in a lot of the games, she's just Akuma.
You know what's a bad take that I've heard?
Yeah.
And it's not a super popular one, but it is one from a relevant voice. Matt, at one point, said that he thought Smash Bros. Ultimate was a mistake, being the whole, like, everybody's here, it's the ultimate Smash Bros. Game. He said that was a mistake. He thinks Smash Bros. Next game should have been... And this was during the hype cycle for Smash Ultimate, because you got to remember Smash Ultimate's release killed the channel. That he thought the next Smash should have been cut the roster down to just 12 characters of a new generation cast to quote-unquote third strike it. And I've said before, I love Third Strike. Everyone knows this. That doesn't change the fact that Third Strike was a failure in the West. There's bingo. I've done it.
No, wait, no, there's not bingo. There's not bingo. We still haven't talked about free-to-play, and we probably won't. Or no, specifically, I haven't brought up the possible pitfalls of free-to-play, which I don't see that happening. But yeah.
Well, we could throw out you could throw out a bad take. Project L is guaranteed to save fighting games, because that is not a guarantee.
I mean, if anything, I believe the opposite, that Project L will be successful, but while also poisoning the well.
We'll have to see how it's executed, honestly, because there's potential for seriously interesting character design.
It's not even just a thing of we need to see how Project L is executed. Because once again, like I think I've said this last week as well, I don't expect Project L to be a bad game. I expect Project L to have bad consequences. Like I don't need to wait for projectiles results. I need to wait for other people's response to projectile and their results.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like pretty much the only things the only reasons I have against Project L is just I don't like the possible precedent this will set, and I don't expect companies to take away the good lessons to learn from what Project L is doing.
Here's a bad take. People who say Soul Calibur didn't go bad until 5. No, 4 sucked.
Yeah. I haven't played 4, but I think 4 was the one that introduced the clothes stripping. And yeah.
4 introduced clothes breaking as a mechanic. Weird choice to begin with. 4 introduced the super moves, which felt horribly out of place. 4 got rid of a lot of the really nice story mode features of 2 and 3. 4 missed a lot of important characters. There were some. Don't get me wrong. Soul Calibur 4 did introduce Hildy. Or is it Hild or Hild? I'll just say Hild. Hild is easily one of the coolest Soul Calibur characters. I hate that she's only ever in the bad ones. But on top of that, Soul Calibur 4, the crossover characters were Yoda, Darth Vader, and Starkiller. I'm fine with Vader. Starkiller's an odd choice. Yoda is cancer. And the other crossover characters were, they got 4 noteworthy manga artists to come in and make Necrid-style characters. Same way they had Todd McFarlane make Necrid, they got 4 manga artists, mangaka, whatever you want to call them,
and none of them
characters that would be non-canon, and they all sucked!
Because none of them were Hirohiko Araki. I mean, legitimately, I think that would have been funny. I don't think he could have done something that actually synergizes with Soul Calibur, but it would have looked funny, at least.
Show Araki Voldo and no other characters off the cast, and tell Araki, make a character who'd fit in with this guy.
Yeah.
Take fucking Kentaro Miura, rest in peace, show him Nightmare, and tell him, make a character like this guy.
But Siegfried already had a Guts alternate.
That is true. I mean, no matter what, when we talk about this stuff, we have to keep in mind, jokingly hiring Araki or Miura, sure, but we have to keep in mind, a lot of Japanese media, at least for teenagers and young men, is heavily, heavily inspired by Berserk and JoJo's.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Capcom. Lisa is right there. She's not fun to play, but she's right there.
Fucking the Soul series bleeds Berserk and sometimes even bleeds JoJo's.
I haven't seen it bleed JoJo yet, but I can believe it.
There definitely is several examples of characters with stands, and there's also definitely several examples of pillarmen. Like, I think I've mentioned this to you before, but the third to last boss of Elden Ring is this badass warrior king who has a lion stand. And once you get him down to half health, it turns out the lion stand was actually holding him back. So he turns around, snaps his own stand's neck, rips off his clothes, becomes a barbarian warrior, and switches from using a knightly axe moveset to the straight up fucking the Heihachi moveset.
Nice.
And that fight is so fucking hype. That's probably the best boss fight in Elden Ring. He's fucking amazing.
You kill this boss by carrying them to a volcano and throwing them in. With big stagger moves.
Well, he's undead at that point, so that may have been how he originally died. We don't know.
Yeah.
You're definitely lighting something important on fire in that scene.
I'm still trying to think of dumb fighting game takes, because there's many to be had.
Oh yeah. I've seen.
Okay, I think the point you raised that led us here with Smash is kind of what I'm going to say as well. But I'm gonna say both ends of the spectrum. That fighting games should have a roster of 6 balanced characters, and that fighting games should have 2,000 not balanced characters. We should have 40 slightly well balanced characters. Let's find a medium.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more understandable for low budget games to have low character rosters. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple examples of games having enormous rosters that are nonetheless balanced and interesting. Smash Ultimate probably being the best example of that. But Smash Ultimate came after 20 years of releases and Nintendo levels of budget and support.
Yeah.
Like, even Armageddon, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, from, the second biggest fighting game franchise of all time, is still clearly got some things like create a fatality where they weren't allowed to make the characters as unique as they should have.
Yeah. I mean, although with MK Armageddon at least, wasn't that partially because Midway was actively dying at the time?
Yes. Mortal Kombat was routinely the only game series for Midway that did not fuck up. Every other, it at least it always returned a profit. Every other Midway series, consistent fuck up.
Yeah, so it's a thing of MK Armageddon was better the execution, but maybe it's a thing where if they had more time or money, they could have actually done something fun. I doubt it, because the stuff that you can see as the basis isn't great, but there's a chance.
Yeah. Oh, another game that's kind of cheating at that, KOF 2002. That it's a sprite game. The rules are a bit different,
Yeah.
Tekken Tag 2, that's also another one of there's so many recycled animations for so much of the cast,
Yeah.
Tekken, I say this all the time, but it's so weird. Tekken is a 3D fighting game with 3D models that's been going for nearly 30 years now, and they do not give a shit about bringing back animations. They will just have Kazuya use the same fucking jab combo animation he's had since Tekken 1.
But at least his fist doesn't get bigger anymore. Although it would be funny.
That would be hilarious, actually. All right. I believe that's about as far as we could probably reasonably go.
Yeah, probably.
Probably could go ahead and call it a fighting games were.
Yeah. Fighting games were.
Yes.